Good morning, everyone. Can you please open your cameras?
So, hi everyone. How is everyone doing? Hope you are excited for the high table.
Sure. So, are we starting now?
Yeah, very shortly, the judges will be just joining shortly, and then we'll begin with the boardroom discussion.
Okay, is there a order like which all like CFO, CEO? Is there a particular order?
Like I've mentioned in the group, the team order. Team one would be just to tell it again. Team one would be IIT Hyderabad, and then followed by Motilal Nehru National Institute of Technology, Allahabad. Then we'll have VIT, and lastly we'll have IIT Allahabad. And as far as the aspects are concerned, we'll go by firstly finance, then we'll go with compliance, and lastly we'll head to the human resource part.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
So, guys, one of our judges has joined, Mr. Samir Rajan.
Hey guys, good morning.
Very good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Morning, sir. Also, can everyone change their name to as to whatever domain they're presenting? It's very crucial that you do that right now, and please start calling your teammates, whosoever is not joined. Thank you. I would request everyone to turn on their cameras.
Thank you for waiting, guys. We are just waiting for the second judge to join. We'll begin very shortly.
Okay, so just to take a head count, is everyone from IIT Hyderabad here? Can you guys raise your hands in the meet, please? Right, thank you. And from ECEL MNNIT Allahabad, is everyone here? Is Megha here? Right, thank you. And ECEL
Yes,
VIT.
yes.
Okay, thank you. Is everyone from ECEL VIT here? Can you guys raise your hand? Right, thank you. And ECEL Aryabhatta? Right, thank you.
Hi guys, everyone please turn your cameras on. It's necessary for everybody who is participating to have their cameras on throughout the meeting. So please ensure that your camera is on all throughout.
Do we have to add title name also in our name?
Kansha?
No, it's all right. You can just mention it during the when you start speaking. Before that, just mention what role you're playing.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll just start by 11:15. So I hope you all are ready and look forward to the discussion.
Also, the first team that will be speaking, that is IIT Hyderabad, I would request you guys to give a one-liner or anything, whatever your interpretation is of the case study, just so that everyone knows what's going on. Just a one-liner.
Can you please specify what you mean by one-liner? Like, what kind of interpretation are we supposed to
What
do?
your interpretation is of the case study, the problem, basically.
Okay, so I believe we can start now. So a very good morning to one and all present here. I, Astha Parekh, President of the Entrepreneurship Cell of Aryabhatta College, would like to cordially welcome you all to the High Table, an inter-college boardroom discussion. The High Table is a highly interactive platform that aims to provide an opportunity to test the problem solving and critical thinking skills of participants through the means of a boardroom simulation. To double the enthusiasm and experience of our participants and judges, we will also be doing a live stream of the competition, which will be available for broadcast on YouTube on the channel ESL Arifat. I would like to thank our convener, Dr. Monica Agarwal, and faculty coordinators, Dr. Shivani Raheja, Dr. Ruchi Sharma, Mr. Sanket Shekhar, and Ms. Gayatri Yadav, who have given us constant support and encouragement without which this event would not have been possible. I would also like to show my appreciation to our noteworthy principal, sir, Professor Manoj Sinha, whose unabating support and encouragement have made it possible for us to hold the session effectively. Without further ado, I would like to request Sanket, sir, to address the audience and help us kickstart this event.
Am I audible, Astha?
Yes, sir, you're completely audible.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Friends from different prestigious institutions of India, Indian Institute of Technology, Hyderabad, Vellore Institute of Technology, Tamil Nadu, Motilal Nehru Institute of Technology, Allahabad, and friends from ESL Aryabhatta College. And my special welcome and thanks to Mr. Sameer Ranjan, who was kind enough to provide us time from his busy schedule for this boardroom simulations. Welcome to you, sir, and all the participants over here. Uh, to introduce our college, this college was established in 2014. It was an evening college, and since then we have taken many strides in academia, in research, in placement. Recently, we have been accredited with NAC A plus. So we are trying our best to to foster entrepreneurial spirit, research, and different modern skill set among our students and faculty members. Uh, in order to, in extension to all these activities, this simulation activity is one of the activity that we have also planned last year, and it was a successful event. And we also have planned this year to hold this session with all of you. So congratulations to the team ESL Aryabhat for organizing such events, because I believe that pondering upon such issues will make the educational ecosystem much enriching, and also the brainstorming over such sessions will make students, faculty members, and all the stakeholders who are involved in this simulation competition, their intellectual capacity, and everything will be more enriching when we keep on organizing and participating in event like such. So, on behalf of Aryabhatta College, on behalf of Office of the Principal, on behalf of the faculty conveners and students, member of Aryabhatta ECEL, I welcome all the participants to this simulation competition. And I would again would like to thank Mr. Sameer Ranjan, who is CTO at Catenate, to this event. And we are looking forward to meet you soon, to everyone, whenever there will be an opportunity to meet offline. So our college is ready to host all of you in offline mode also. So I wish you all the best for this event, and I welcome once again to everyone.
Thank you so much for your kind and encouraging words, sir. Now I would like to invite our moderators for the event to kindly take over.
So, good morning, everyone. I, Chahat Goel, Associate Member at ECEL Aryabhatta, would like to introduce our esteemed panel of judges. So, first judge for today is Mr. Meet Zaveri. Mr. Meet Zaveri, a remarkable social entrepreneur, tech and marketing executor, and renowned TEDx speaker. As, a, as the founder of the DIGINEER, a digital marketing agency, and MARKETIVITY, a dynamic news platform, he empowers businesses to thrive in the digital realm while keeping the industry updated on the latest marketing and technology trends. His passion for branding, network building, and his speaking engagements at prestigious events have established him as a sought after thought leader. His visionary approach and commitment to innovation make him a driving force in shaping the future of the tech and marketing landscape. Sir, we are delighted to have you on board with us. Now, Yash will introduce our second judge for today's event.
Our second judge for today is Mr. Sameer Rajan, a true individual who fearlessly explores diverse domains from underground mental mining to the vast landscapes of data mining. A captivating speaker, inspiring leader, and skilled data scientist, Mr. Sameer Rajan ignites the spark of motivation in others. Beyond his professional achievements, he is a visionary social entrepreneur and scholar, contributing significantly to the field of data science. As a board member, thought leader, and guest lecturer for Shiksha, a not-profit organization, he champions a world devoid of judgment. Through intellect, passion, and relentless drive, he shapes a brighter future, seamlessly merging academia, innovation, and social change. Sir, we are delighted to have you on board with us.
Now to introduce the participants, with an overwhelming expression of interest from ECELs across India, I would like to personally welcome all the teams present here with us today. Kanan, Aditya Gupta, and Pritesh Singh from IIT Hyderabad, Megha Bajpai, Shreyansh, and Rudransh Srivastava from Motilal Nehru National Institute of Technology, Allahabad, Jayashru Agrawal, Devan Shah, and Prateek Gupta from Vellore Institute of Technology, Vellore, Khushi Wahi, Rishit Sharma, and Piyush Yadav from Aryabhatta College. Over to Chahat.
Okay, so let's move on to the rules and regulations of the high table. Firstly, 3 people will make up each team. Each team member will represent a top level management position in the same company, investigate a specific issue relating to their field, that is compliance, HR, and finance, and offer a solution. Hence, each team will have representatives from all 3 departments. Secondly, each team has to present solutions for all 3 problem sets. Each team member is also required to counter or support the solutions provided by their counterparts from other teams. There will be 4 CFOs, 4 CHROs, and 4 CCOs present in the meet. Each C-suite member is allowed to engage in the proceedings of their problem corresponding to their particular field. For example, in a team, only the CFO can present the financial case of the company to the high table, and only he or she can intervene in the proceedings of other CFOs. Similarly, only the CCO can present the compliance case, and intervene in the proceedings of other CCOs and so on. Non-compliance with the mentioned rules will automatically result in point deduction. Board members have to reach a conclusion mutually. Members are free to agree, disagree, disapprove, discuss, and modify the inputs of others to reach the final conclusion. At the end of the discussion, the judges will announce the best CFO, CCO, and CHRO. The judge's decision, once made, is final. Now, let's begin with the high table. We can start
Wishing
with
all the
the
best to everyone.
Team 1
Right over to
IIT
IIT
Hyderabad.
Hyderabad.
Hello.
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, so I am the acting CFO from IIT Hyderabad of Adani Group. So, can I start now?
Sure, please do.
Oh, okay. Good day, everyone. We are having this top-level executive meeting as a response to the recent report published by Hindenburg, a short-selling investigation firm. Since there is a lack of clarity on the exact date of this meeting, I am assuming today to be February 4, 2023. A recent recap on the recent actions and events happened. On January 24, the Hindenburg report came. On Jan 25, our group CEO, myself, gave a public statement that this is a target, especially on India and also our upcoming FPO. But the market didn't respond well, forcing us to, on February 2nd, our chairman, Gautam Adani, made a public statement denying all the allegations, and we pulled back our Adani Enterprise FPO. In these 7 days, our stocks fell over more than 50%, Adani Enterprise falling more than 71%. The major issues we are handling is the negative market sentiments, declining investor confidence, and downgrading of our credit rating, along with the additional investigation from our regulatory bodies. One thing we need to, as of right, with the declining market share, we are facing is the margin call from our shares, which are pledged mainly in SBI. To handle the situation, we are planning to dilute our promoters holding from 80% to 75%. This addition of this 5%, we are planning to issue more shares to the market, and also pledge the shares to mitigate that margin call. We are also planning to sell assets. We are evaluating the proposals of selling assets from Mumbai International Port and also our Krishnapatnam Port. Also, we are planning on selling our data center business to any other firms to raise the additional firm. We are expecting we will require a total of around 25 billion to handle these fluctuations. Also, to showcase our financial strength, we are planning to prepay a loan which will range from 1 to 2.5 billion. The exact details we are on, the exact numbers our finance team is on currently calculating and will be presented to the boards. So also we will have a meeting with our investors and issue a financial statement showing on our March the performance of our companies in March quarter. We have also launched an internal investigation along with our legal team, and also we are planning to have offensive actions taken against Hindenburg in Indian and American courts. These are the recent updates we are having, and recently we are also assessing how the Adani Enterprise being removed from Dow Jones Sustainability Index. As of all, the chairman's response have shown we can see a positive response from both Indian and New York stock exchanges. This is the update from the finance side. Okay. Yeah, so my presentation is done. If we have any questions, we can ask.
We'll do the questions and the discussion after everyone has spoken. Is that all right?
Okay. Can I know if anyone have any doubts on the points I shared?
We'll do that later
Okay.
after everyone has spoken.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm so sorry. Like, I have a question to the organizing committee. Is that
Right.
allowed? Hello.
Yes, please.
Actually,
Yes,
we are
you're audible.
confused
Yeah, you're
with
audible.
the dates of the case study because there's already a mention of March in your case study, right? Uh, in the compliance wala thing. So we are yet not sure like if we could use February as a date of like our speech and things like that. I just wanted to clarify on that because
You can
a
use
March date has been
the
used.
months. If you want to answer something, you can, of course, use the references of some of the dates. If that is not mentioned in the case, you can always mention that.
No, I'm talking about the current date. Like what date should we use as the case study for today? February, because there's already a mention of March in your case study.
So I was took the date with according to the CFO case study only, because my domain is only to focus on the finance side of the case study, and the only thing we are showing is to mention any date is that graph given of our stock performance. But given it's given till May, there is no point of having this meeting now because most of the action is already taken by the firm. So if you are considering May as this time of meeting, then most of these events have already been occurred in the market. So I don't think we can do anything additional more because the firm has already done everything. So that's why I took February 2nd, because the other than the date of Hindenburg report, there is no other date mentioned.
Right.
Can the team from MNNIT start the finance?
Good morning, everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm Megha Bajpai from NIT Allahabad, and I will be taking the post of Chief Financial Officer for the following discussion. Can I start now?
Yes, you can.
Okay. So first, let's come to the scrutiny by Indian regulators. So if there's an allegation of inappropriate financial transaction leading to unfair advantage to a certain company or group of companies, then all financial government regulators will take note of it and scrutinize it. So the first step would be to get ourselves clean out of scrutiny. This would also help in building investor confidence in us. Now, let's move on to the downgrade of credit. The major factor leading to it is economic recessions, currency fluctuations, or geopolitical risks. Right now, we are also facing a great industrial market factor like the Hindenburg report. I am basing all of this in the current month since I have stats to put forth in front of you. First of all, we would not have any issues with the loans since we are already a backward integrated company, and we would have no issues in calculating our resources and moving forward for expansion. So, moving to the solutions. First of all, let's imply a complex strategy, suppose for cross investing and circulating within our companies. No need to panic. We are not the first and only in the race. More companies like Samsung, Sony, Tata already have such strategies. Next, we can imply the share buyback strategy. We are all well aware of the massive sell off of stocks. However, by the universal rule of demand and supply, we now have buyers who, in the general scenario, could be foreign institutional investors, Indian institutional investors, the company itself, or its subsidiaries. By purchasing its own shares, the company creates demand in the market, which can help stabilize and support the share price during a period of intense selling off pressure. Right? Example, May 2023. This can enhance shareholder value in the long run. Adani Ports will accept the offer of the purchase of about 34.3% of the senior notes, for which the shareholders will receive $970 for 1,000 principal dollar amount. Right. Then the effects of the strategy could be seen in the Economic Times report, which is the current growth from the 2023 low for Adani Green Energy is 115%, Adani Enterprises is 106%, Adani Power 87%, Adani Gas 145%, Adani Ports and Logistics 84%, Adani Wilmar at 34%, Adani Transmission at 30%. By implementing the recirculation cycle, we could see the growth of another 23.22% by the end of the year for Adani Wilmar, and so on. Now, the next strategy is to raise profit margins. It is very easy to raise profit margins if we could expedite our services and manufactures either by lowering the cost of production or finding newer or more compatible markets. For example, we already provide services in energy generation and distribution through our thermal power plants, our renewable energy products and projects. Adani Ports specializes in Adani Ports and SEZ specializes in handling cargo, container terminals, logistics solutions, warehousing services. Other than that, we have infrastructural services. Adani Prices Limited is involved in mining and resources. Agribusiness is also one of the sectors, followed by Adani Wilmar. So please make note that these are just different sectors that I'm planning. Now, we can expand by filling in the existing gaps of the system. For example, in an article by The Hindu, it spoke of breach of privacy via Coven website. We could hire qualified engineers to fix such loopholes in the government system and charge for the same. This could then be stratified later. Such venture could be used to expedite our services. Now, the next thing is we are going to reschedule our debt payment. As we know that in the 2 months of Hindenburg report, taking gross outstanding debt to is this question for me? Is the message for me?
No, you can continue. It's not for you.
No, just yeah.
Okay. So we already have a debt of 2.2 lakh crores, right? But there is no worry since no material refinancing risk and near-term liquidity requirement, as there is no near-term significant debt maturity. That means the company's short-term debt situation is stable and it can handle its upcoming debt payments without difficulty. Now, we renegotiate our loans. That could be another strategy. For example, I will support this with some calculation that I have done. Let's consider the 21,000 crore or $2.6 billion debt by SBI given to us at 7.1% rate interest for 50 years. It comes to be 12 crores 80 lakhs per month. As we can see, revenues of 70,433 crore rupees for financial year 21-22 as put out by the Adani Group. Then the monthly cost comes out to be 5,869.41 crore rupees, which means we can successfully pay for 458.55 months, that is 38.2 years, while the company is still operational and earns profit just by what we have earned in the previous year. Now, when we imply my strategy to renegotiate it, suppose we negotiated at a rate of 6% for 75 years, we can get it down to be 10 crores 61 lakhs per month. This would add 8 years to our already existing point. Even if the situation it stretches to 80 years at current of 7.1% rate, we'll have 39.3 years. May not seem big, may only be 1 year of additional, but still functionality would help us make more money. So we can use then media. We can use media for investor confidence, and this would help us to put forth for our current financial problems. If there is any question or something I'd like to
I have a question. What's your what's your month-to-month cost to investment ratio?
What is my
Month-to-month cost to investment ratio?
1 minute? I have it.
Or let me simplify the question. What would be my, let's say I invested $1 in Adani, right? What's the time period by which I'll be getting my $1 back? And what's the profit which I can expect in next 5 years with your calculation?
So if you are only looking forward to get your $1 back, we are already at $970 for $1,000. Soon enough, by the end of the year, we'll be even increasing this, and you will get about within the next 3 months, you'll be able to get $1.2 on your $1 investment. So if you want to pull back only $1, then you can take it out by the next 3 months. However, if you want to get more profit of the money you've invested, since stock market is a long-term game, then I'll suggest you leave the money with us for a few years, or I'll say for a period of 4 to 5 years, and then you can pull it out with more profit. The company has been, the reason why I tell you this is because the company has been expanding at a great rate. We had the EBITDA of about 4 for like till a few years back, but now it has come back to 2, and we will only increase it and come and make it come in points. So for everything that you invest, we are soon going to be doubling and tripling it.
What's the combined growth rate of combined all Adani conglomerate?
1 minute. Do you want it for like one company, suppose enterprises, or do you want it for all of it?
Let's go with the one which is in highest loss, which is like, let's say, Adani Green.
Okay. 1 minute. Please give me a minute.
Which is at 70% loss. So if I have invested in Adani Green, when I'll expect my money to be even at a break even, let alone profit.
Okay.
Break even.
Okay. So, sir, I have this report from Economic Times, and it says the current growth from the 2023 low for the Adani Green Energy is at the highest, that is 115%. So I believe we have already covered the loss that it made from the 100% mark and 15% more in profit. Soon enough, we'll be covering all the losses that have been incurred to the company.
Okay, last question. Do you think growth is related to the profit?
This is a tricky question. And I'd like to say, if you're asking about the growth in terms of assets that we have or the liquid cash that we have, that would specify the question more. So which sort of answer do you want, in terms of money or in terms of assets that we're spreading?
No, you said like 150% is the growth projected by Economic Times, right?
Yes.
Is that growth related to profit? That's what my question is. Is that 150% growth is equal to 150%?
115.
Okay, 115. Let's call it 115, right? Is it equal to 115% in profit also?
Sir, I would like to add that all these companies work by strategizing their money and cash flow within themselves and regulating it. So I'd like to say that maybe you may not get the exact money from this company itself, but from some other company, or if you're invested in the Adani Group conglomerates, then somewhere or the other the money is going to come out to you, because we are expanding at a rapid rate. We are opening ports, we are taking coal mine projects, we are taking everything that is coming up in our way and rapidly expanding. Moreover, the Hindenburg did create some issues in our functioning, but they have been very successfully tackled by the company, and as addressed in the meeting.
Okay,
thank you.
Okay, so Megha, what would you be doing in that case of, the investors, who don't understand this type of numbers, right? I'm talking about the very nth part of India who don't understand the numbers and who are not even that much interested into that numbers, but they still are, they are investing in your stocks and all. So as a CFO, what would be your role and what would we plan to do?
So if I have to pull in more investors, and they have been seeing all these
you don't
reports,
have to pull in. Okay, yeah, let's consider that. Yeah.
So I have to pull in more investors, right? That is my role.
Yeah.
I do not have the current statistics calculated for what should be put forth in front of them, but I believe I can show them the past progresses that we have made and how fast we have developed in so many portions of India. We have such heavy government influence. Moreover, most of our assets are real estate properties. Suppose if we say for ports and the company is not going well and we have put it out in loans, then they do not need to worry. The bank can seize, mortgage, or sell the property and still they would be safe. So I think we have already enough financial security to put in front of them and tell them that yes, their money is safe. And if they invest in us, it will be better, considering they cannot fight inflation with the normal bank interests.
Okay. Can you just conclude the answer of this question? What will be the conclusion of this case?
So I'll like to put out 5 points for my conclusion.
2-3 points if you can.
All right. the first thing would be to get clean out of scrutiny. That would be very helpful for us in building our credibility. Next would be to stabilize our shares. It could be by a buyback strategy, or it could be by recirculating them among ourselves. And number three would be to look into rescheduling our debt payments and negotiating our loans.
What should be the priority? I mean, in number wise, what should be the priority? I guess the third point you told, that should be the number one priority. What do you think about that?
Yes, so that is the most important. But also, I believe if the major focus is on building back investor confidence, then our priority should be focused on making like use of media coverage and other things that we can use to promote ourselves, to show, because recently we paid off $200 million just so we could take more loan. We are going to pay it in form that we are going to pay the interest first, then we are going to pay the principal sum. So as soon as the people see that, yes, we are paying off our loans, they would be more interested in giving their money to us so we can grow the company more.
Okay.
Thank you.
VIT, team VIT.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Devan Shah from ESL VIT, here as a CFO of Adani Group. So basically, I would like to start by credit ratings. According to CSR ratings, our company is graded A for fiscal year of 2022 and is rated stable. The total bank loan faculties are of 38,000 crores, which makes us of a long rating of stable, and our total revenue for fiscal year of 2022 was 28,105 crores. With PAT margin removed, we have 2,810 crores of profit, which is 17.5% of our total margin. If we are considering debt to our total revenue earned, that is 1.8 times of our total of our company's worth. So, if according to industry standards, 1.8% of the total debt is good. It's not very bad, and our goal is not to go loan free for a long term. It's to rather use that credit line as an expansion so that we can grow our company. And with the profit margin of 17.5%, we can pay out our 3.36% of interest that we have from our loans very easily. Our quarterly earning growth was 137.40%, and and with ADTA it was 91.65 billion. So basically, if the company's credit line is very strong, there is no need to worry about that. And to prove that, we can also take a loan from a private bank to show that we still hold a strong position in the market and we can still get loans from private companies. And why private bank? Because government banks are a bit more easier to get than this private banks. They are more serious to give loans, so this will prove our efficiency in the market, and that will give us our hold in the market. Okay. Meet sir, would you like to ask something?
Devans, as Adani already having so many debt, and you are talking about to taking few more loans, right?
Yes, sir.
Already having so many loans on them, then by what purpose?
So our loan, Adani has loan of only 1.8 times of its company's net. Correct. It is good according to market standard. It's not much, sir. So,
but the market got panic because of that point only, right?
Yes, sir.
Sir, it is, we just want to show the market that we still have a power in the market. The investors, the banks are also investing in our company by giving us the loan. So we want to show that the banks still trust us. So by acquiring the bank's trust, we can show the public and the major investors that people can still trust on us.
Okay.
Anything else, sir? Okay. So the next point would be to regarding our sell-off of our stocks. So we would like Adani has 56% of major shareholders. That is not from public sectors, from the companies. From companies. So basically, we would ask them to sign a share lockup agreement that would give us 180 days of that 180 days that they cannot sell our stocks in the market. It would create stability in our stocks and create less fluctuation. And to tackle with the public sector, we would take upon the PR team to create a good public impression, or so that it relaxes the effect of Heidenberg, and we can also use NDTV, as NDTV is also part of Adani Group. We can also use NDTV as a means to cool down the effect of Heidenberg report and impact and reduce the impact of our losses on the public sector holdings of our share, which is around 15%, 15.56%. The next point I would like to bring on would be the scrutiny. So the SEBI has also put on some of their allegations and some restrictions on our company. So we would agree with some minor changes that they would ask for our company to do. And if we just do the minor changes, it would create a good impression on SEBI, and they would just let us do our thing. And as our share price again gets a growth, it gets inflated again, the SEBI would back out from the scrutiny and that they are doing, their restrictions that they have put on us, and that will create a less problems from the SEBI market. And we would also like to buy back some of our shares from the public sector so that the fluctuation reduces and it reduces and creates a fluctuation of our stock, reducing our losses. Then we'd like to restore investor confidence. So we would introduce some new projects by Adani Group, some being the new government contracts we got for the road transport and Adani Vellore groups under us, and increasing the production of coal from Carmine mines in Australia, and introducing and take over the Trainman venture of ours. This would create a new hype, and it will still promote that Adani is still innovating into newer markets. It shows that we are still putting up our challenges and we are still able to expand through it. And to mitigate our financial challenges, so last I talked about a loan from a private conglomerate. We would like to redirect that investment into our to increase our fluidity, so that the company functions very smoothly, and to improve our day-to-day workings of our company. Thank you.
Right, thank you.
Any questions by anyone or the judges, or we can move to Aryabhatta?
I have a support for this.
We'll
Yes,
take
so please
questions
go
in the
ahead.
end. Is that all right? After Aryabhatta has done speaking. All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, so Devansh, can you conclude in 2-3 points?
So, yes, sir. So, to increase our credit rating, we would take up a loan and create an confidence in the market that we still hold some major positions in the market. And according to our quarterly earning growth, we are still able to handle the interest rates. Then, for the sale of our stocks, we would like a shared lockup agreement for 180 days and a PR team for public sector and a buyback. For scrutiny, we would agree with minor changes from SEBI that would create a good impression on our part from SEBI that we are functioning according to them. As our share prices inflate, SEBI would back out automatically. And then to restore investors' confidence in our group, we would introduce some new projects, being the government contracts for road transport and Adani Vellore, increasing productivity in Kalmin mines, and takeover of Trainman app. And for mitigating financial challenges, we would like to redirect our acquired new loan to the liquidity area of our company so that our day-to-day functioning gets more efficient.
Sorry, one thing. Did you say you are going to get more loans?
Yes, sir.
But how you
To
will
prove
get it
that we still hold a major.
and SEBI both behind you? You won't be qualified for getting any loan.
So the loan is of 38,000 crores. Our annual revenue is of 28,105 crores. That makes us 1.85 times, 83 times only of our net worth. So basically, and we
that
are
I
still.
understood. My question is, if you have a criminal charge against the company account and if you hold a case by SEBI, you won't be able to qualify for a loan. It's a standard norm, right, by SEBI and CBI, because the company qualifies as a criminal holding company, which basically essentially stops anyone in the market to give them any kind of loan. Even you cannot enforce 180-day lockup.
So we agreed to SEBI's regulations. So SEBI would back off, not right now, but like in two, 3 working days, it would basically back out if they see the changes. SEBI would back out if we just agree to the regulations, and there are no criminal cases against us. So like they were not proven.
Yeah, but there's a case, right? CBI is checking the case against Chinese companies' allegation, and SEBI has something which is stock manipulation. Do you have any idea like how much time it takes to do?
Yes, sir, but we got cleared from the stock manipulation.
Yeah, but can you put
until we are not proven guilty, we are
shareholders hold.
Yeah, sir. So we are until we are not proven guilty, they cannot put on the restrictions on us. So even if they are investigating on us, it's okay. Let them. If it's not proved, they cannot put restrictions on us, and we can still get it from the national. We can still ask investments from the private banks, not as a loan, but that and as an investment. So they can still invest.
Why I'll invest in a company which is already under the fire from the people and national and everyone.
But because we still have a rating of A, sir, and we are still a stable company, and our growth is still very good, sir. So I don't think so. Like even on a business perspective, the company is good, and the PR would be handled, sir.
But how you will handle the PR? NDTV is owned by Adani itself, right?
Yes, sir.
Then whatever you say is like company linked.
Sir, we are also thinking about. We have also put our report against the Heidelberg report, and PR team will handle the report against allegations and all. So just it would take time. I'm not thinking it would do instantly, but to mellow down the market, it would take time. Like 1 or 2 more weeks would take down the time to mellow down the effects of the Heidelberg report. After that, the company's revenue is still growing. We are still a growing company. The revenue hasn't been down. So due to that, the company share will again rise. So basically, we won't have any problem in the future.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you.
Aryabhatta.
Afternoon, board. Today, I, Khushi Vai, before you all, will be presenting the issues highlighted, and I'll be the CFO of Adani Group. So, first of all, I would like to throw some light on the problem faced by us. So ever since Hindenburg report has been announced, the stock value has been dwindling, and there's a major setback to the operations. There's instability in the financial market. Therefore, it becomes essential to ascertain this from a financial point of view. And I would like to discuss the solutions to prevent any further losses, as we have already lost 70 billion market share. So therefore the solutions that I would like to offer are, first is leverage buyback. This is way better than the buyback of shares directly. In this kind of leverage buyback, the corporate finance, instead of the company, would be buying the shares of the of the Adani Group and this would also help us to regain the control. And this also implies that the earning per share would increase because the number of shares would decrease. So that would increase the demand of shares, and that would also help us to increase the price of the stock in the market again. And then after reviewing the financial statements of the company, I can see that there is a negative cash flow from the investing activities, which is about 1,92,810 million in the Adani Green Energy. So this calls for improvement in the investment portfolio, so that this means that we have to invest in profitable businesses apart from investing in the company. Then third, in the such times of crisis, this means that we should not let the employees or the shareholders give up on us. So therefore, I suggest that we give ESOPs to the employees, so that the shareholders as well as the employee feel some sense of security, and they can instill confidence again in the company. Then I've also reviewed and have come to know about the fact that the company is only given 2% of its profit towards the CSR activities. So this should be increased because a competitor like Reliance Industries, it's one of the highest contributor of social causes of about 739 crores. So therefore, we should match up to that level, and this would also help us in building the public image. Then there's also another suggestion, that dilution of shares. This would help in investment, and it would also build up the efficiency that we require very much. And again, it would help in the public image, and therefore the investors would not think of the company gonna shut down. Then there's another thing that I would like to propose, that with the facts that the dividend yield of Adani Groups is only 0.05%, whereas its competitors yield a dividend of about 0.67%. So the measures should be taken to increase the dividend yield by increasing the EPS and by increasing the efficiency of the operations all in totality. Then we can also conclude that the main intention of Hindenburg report was to fail our FPO, the follower offer, but nonetheless, we would be interested in cancelling the FPO because we would not want to hurt the public sentiments. Therefore, we do not want to have the money in such volatile environment where the investors are incurring losses. Then we would also like to clear the air regarding the amount of loan that we have been borrowing ever since the establishment. I would like to declare that it's well within the limits. For instance, LIC total exposure within this scrutiny is only 1% of assets under management, AUM at book value, that too. So in no way the economy been shook. And this could also be proven by the statement of Kotak chairman, Uday Kotak, stating that there is no systematic risk. Similarly, to prove the same, that the debt from SBI is only 0.89%, that too is secured, and the loan from Bank of Baroda is 5,380 crores, whereas we could have easily gotten a loan of about 21,000 crore as per the RBI exposure policy of 25%. So in a nutshell, all the banks, the debt or the loans that we have borrowed from all the banks is less than 1% of their assets. Therefore, the allegations of Adani availing loans violating the limit stands false. Then I also call for the prepayment of loans against share. This would help to prove that we are not in debt, that we are not loss incurring, and that we could very well afford the interest payment and the principal payment of loan. Then we would also we are transparent, but I would like to, in such times, I would like to call for more transparency in the operation, in the financial statements. So this would mean that we would have to disclose the income and earnings. So which has already been disclosed on the websites, and I would like to take your attention to that. To the facts that the per day salary is 1,600 crore. So if we are this much open about the earnings, and there's no then there should not be any allegation that we are hiding any hidden income. Then we could also jump to the conclusion, which is very much evident, that we are being targeted by the Western world like Credit Suisse Bank, that they are not accepting the bonds as security, and this is completely normal. This does happen, and we should not see it as a threat, because the Indian government is always supporting us. Then the last measure that I would like to offer is that after having reviewed the Caro report of Adani Groups, we can see that we have incurred more liabilities in the last financial year. So currently, it has jumped from 32,000 crore to 72,000 crores, which is a big jump. And I would also like to take your attention to the liabilities. Our current tax liability has also increased by 120 crores. So that's not less, and we should work upon this. And therefore, our total liabilities has increased, and therefore we should call upon taking less of loans. Therefore, I also propose that we should again be diluting our shares so that we can overcome this gap. So by all these measures, I think we could we could at such times make the we should come clean out and not get threatened by the report, which is baseless. Thank you.
Thank you. If anyone has any questions, the objective is to come to a mutual consensus. Please go ahead with the discussion. Thank you.
Khushi, what would you be doing for the financial challenges which already facing by the group?
So, first of all, I would focus more on decreasing the liabilities of the company, which would also mean that we should decrease our debt and we should not go on collecting.
But on the same time, they are facing the financial issues also, right?
So that way they can dilute the shares.
They can dilute the shares, okay.
Yes, sir. Because of that, our liabilities have jumped.
But on the same time, you are talking about the buyback also, right?
Yes, sir. So buyback was a program. So once the stock price is stable, then we can have the shares diluted so that there's a balance in the market, and as well as the internal operations are not affected.
Okay. So no loans.
So the financial statements do not look that good, because the year by year the liabilities are increasing and the tax provision is also increasing. So it won't look good that we are incurring more of liabilities, and therefore we can also see that because of this, our annual revenue is only 313 billion, and the total cost is 301.8. So there's only 4% of the profit that's going. So that's again not acceptable. With such a hard work of 35 years, we cannot have the liabilities that high.
Okay. For liquid money, you are telling me to do the share dilute, right?
Yes, sir. So we can approach more of investors, because that would also help increase the efficiency of the company.
Sorry.
We could approach more of investors. We do not have any angel investors. Only LIC holds a major part of Adani Enterprises. Therefore, this calls for that we can approach more investors, so that we could also share the resources, and it would be more economical that way, and the liabilities would remain stable.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, I just had one more point, that the lock-in period is only for 90 days. This would also mean that we can increase the lock-in period, so that there's a stability in the financial market, which has already been spoken by one of the mates, but I would like to reiterate it.
I have a question, Kushi. How are you taking care of investor confidence? So the answer me in three part, right? Well, first is mathematical, where you can tell me, with all the stocks being with the growth rate being negative right now, what is the expected timeline to get it positive, right, in terms of month? Second is what kind of investment you are looking from the financial challenge, because there is some, because if you are doing projects, even the current projects, you need operating cost, right? With the current sheet that you have, the 1600 crore, I guess that's what your daily profit, that daily operating revenue was, right? You won't be able to survive all the projects, because the mining project will itself cost us like at least 20 times of that. And I can just tell you from my experience, I'm a mining engineer also, right? So third thing is, why investor will invest the money in a company which is under scrutiny by public, by government, and by the financial institutions which are sitting in the US, because people look at the US for extra money, right? And I don't know whether you know the current status or not. All the major investors of Adani who sit in any other country except India, they are being summoned by different courts around the world. So why investor will invest the money?
Okay, first of all, I would like to answer the third question of yours. As you had said that the why any investor would like to invest. So first of all, there are claims by the First of all, there had been an article issued by the SBI. I already mentioned it, that that even if the allegation is that the allegation mostly revolves around the fraud and the amount of borrowing that we have taken. So now the Kotak Bank has already said that there is no systematic risk and we have not violated the limit. And then the SBI also says that we have only taken 0.89% and the loan is secured. Therefore, if the loan that we have taken from the banks is secured, this also means that the money that we are seeking from them would also stay secured, and that the stock would bounce back again once the wind calms down. And also to retaliate the report by the Hindenburg that the Hindenburg had already posted, we have also posted our own report of 413 pages, which states that all the allegations made by the company is baseless, and this also highlights their underlying intention of short selling. Basically, short selling would help them earn profit if there's a decline in the stock price of the company. So all these things have been mentioned in the report, and I don't see that why any investor would not invest in the company which has been established for 35 years. And there's no company that which is clean, but at least Adani Groups has come clean, and it also discloses its income. And we can see that it's easily available that the per day salary of Adani is how much, and the total cost that the company is incurring, and there are no hidden reserves, and the acquisition of the offshore companies have also been taken care of, and the measures have been put in place so that no such there's no such tax haven. And so even if the foreign investors do not invest, the Indian investors would definitely invest, because it's the Hindenburg report is actually an attack against India. So I don't think there would be any problem in seeking investment. Yes, sir.
All right. So any of the participants want to add or something?
Megha, I would
You
like
can go
to.
One doubt, is it actually means to person discussion or like a group discussion?
It's a group discussion.
Basically, this is a
The floor open
conclusive
for everyone.
round. Now it is a group discussion. You can just talk it out and discuss and come to a common conclusion.
Sorry to
Okay,
cut you
so-
short, but like Megha has already mentioned that there's 7-minute maximum rule. I don't think I've exceeded my limit.
Okay, but I was told it was 5 minutes. That's why I
Yes,
I
yes.
added
We
up
were
that
told
way.
it was 5 minutes, and if we exceed
Yes,
that,
we
we'll
also
have
do that.
point deduction for that. Yes,
No,
we were
but
told.
mine was 5 minutes. It was very well within the 5 minutes limit, if that's about me.
Sorry, actually I was timing. That's why I asked. It's okay. In case it's 5 minutes, it's okay. Cool.
Don't worry, guys. The organizing team will take care of everything. If
Okay.
somebody is exceeding 7 minutes, then only the point deduction will occur. So from now on, let's do 7 minutes, because I think 5 minutes is falling a bit short because of the questions as well. So 7 minutes for everyone. Exceeding that, point deduction. So I hope the rules are absolutely clear now.
Okay, now it's clear.
All right, great. So let's begin with the mutual discussion round. Any one of you could begin with whatever points you might have noted down during the solutions presented by others. So any one of you can begin.
Yeah, I have a question to Megha Bajpai. You had
Yes,
stated
it's
that
Bajpai.
Bajpai.
It's bad.
My bad. Megha, you had stated that the that you should be that the company should be working on increasing the profit margin, right? If I'm correct. So,
Yes.
how would you be performing on it? Because the Adani Power Group, the growth rate is about 200%. So, how much efficiency would you be planning upon? Because 200%, no one can exceed it.
All right. So, if you listen to the further points that I noted, I would like to say I spoke of how we can expand by filling in existing gaps, by like filling up the digital spaces and using unemployment present in India to promote our cause. I also gave an example by backing up my statement with an article from the Hindu that spoke about the Coben website's breach of privacy. It was a situation where you could enter the Aadhaar number or you could enter the mobile number, and then all your data would be out with the person who has the website. It could easily take out your address, your bank details, where are your tie-ups. So these things happen. Right now, India is facing issues of deep fakes. So if we are going to bring out one more asset to the upcoming company, we could offer more services. We could increase our profit margins that way.
All right. You had also mentioned about buying back of shares. Is that correct?
Yes.
Won't you think if you directly buy back shares from the public, that would actually be something cautious that investors be of? Because if you're buying back shares, basically you're returning from the market. So how well would you take that?
Okay. I see your point. First of all, we are facing massive sell-offs. Point number one, if somebody sold it, there must be somebody who bought it, right? There was a demand. That is why there was a supply. So first of all, if somebody sold it, somebody bought it. Now there are four possible situations. who would have bought it? First of all, it could have been a foreign institutional agency, or it could have been an Indian one.
Megha,
Next, it could be the company or its subsidiary itself.
I have to have one
Can I
correction
answer
on.
One
No, actually, I have a doubt on that because the sell-off happened in January. You means
Yes.
all three are assuming you are having this meeting on May or June. So now you are talking about share buyback is not an option.
It's a part of the measure that we are
That
Megha
measure
had
is
It is a precautionary measure that we can take in future. It's not about the present right now.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Again, that's my
Exactly.
concern because
Exactly. That's what I was
most of
saying.
the problems are happening on January area. Most of the measures need to be done in January section only. Whatever you are saying is for future, which has no effect on the current scenario. Like you are telling, okay, we can have a plan for share buyback. That's for another situation to come. Then only you can implement that. You
No,
cannot
but
implement-
taking the case in the in view,
One
we
second.
are
This could be really helpful because already there are companies in our own conglomerate groups which are still not at the power point, which have still not been able to cover up the damage caused by the Hindenburg report. So we do need measures for those companies as well, as in we are down in this month of June.
Okay, so in share buyback, if you go through that Hindenburg report, one of the allegation was the public shareholding being dangerously close to the minimum requirement. And by
Yes.
When you're buying back share, you are again decreasing the public participation in our companies because we are buying
Totally
shares from the
agree.
public market.
Okay,
Very true.
I'll tell you one
So
point.
that's like
I
you are
have-
worsening the situation.
Excuse me, but I
Give me
thought
1 minute.
Megha was
All right, now.
answering my question, Karan. But just let her
I'll
answer
answer.
my
I'll answer.
question.
The current
Please-
average is
I'll
15%
answer
of all of the companies,
both the
and the
questions.
minimum we need is what is the minimum according to you? What is the minimum that we need to keep?
I don't know the exact numbers. because
Legally, we can own. Legally, we have to put out 25% of the company for the public sector, and being dangerously close, many of the companies
Yeah.
were 74.9%. But let me pull out one of the statistics.
Megha, you are wrong.
Actually,
I
actually
assume
there
this
are
question would come.
Megha,
So
if you are
the
taking
Adani
you
Wilmar
are
Enterprises
wrong.
Limited consolidated
No one doubt.
is
Actually,
43.97%.
can
We
you
have
specify the
93
date
listed
also, if possible, when you're mentioning the holdings?
holdings. Well, this was mentioned in the 508 pages PDF mentioned out by the Adani
No,
Enterprises Media
I'm asking the
for the
date.
financial year of
Financial year of
which date?
like
Financial year of 21 and 22. So I'm speaking with that context.
again the concern is on January 23. We are to take in March 23rd into consideration. In March 23rd, the promoters holding from 80% it decreased to 72. Then it went to 62. All the shares were diluted.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Again,
If somebody sold it, there would be somebody who bought it. Now, who bought it? This could be seen as a very strategic plan, right?
Okay.
What if we used it? Hindenburg is a short selling company. It's going to make a hefty profit as and when the stock falls down, right? So
Exactly.
Hindenburg is in profit already. Our stocks have gone down. So we can now have more holding backs in one of our conglomerates companies, one of our groups down there, right? So now we have the money back in the house. The company is making profits. Now soon enough,
money.
what I predict soon enough is going to happen is that Hindenburg and the Adani Group are, after all the legal procedures, going to come down to one mutual agreement that all right, this and this is the condition, which will help both the companies. So either this could be planned that yes, they want to make more profits, or this could be used to our advantage as well.
Okay, so before anyone starts, I have just one clarification from all three of you.
Okay.
Like, what exactly do you think was the intention of Hindenburg report? It was only to target the stock performance. Our cash flow or any ratios is not affected by the report. The only thing it affected was market sentiments and investor confidence.
It was to cancel the FPO, which we were about to take up.
That happened even though our FPO was 100% subscribed, more than 100%.
It was oversubscribed.
Yeah, to be. So put that aside. You all three are going into the ratios and all that metrics.
Yes.
But in fact, the only effect we had is on the share performance, and along with that, the margin call we faced. Because again, the market share is decreasing, our market cap is decreasing. So yeah, we got a margin call from mainly from SBI. by focusing on the metrics, we are not handling this market performance. We need to have improve the market sentiments. Just telling, okay, our cash flow is strong. Even and again, most of the selling happened in retailer segment because and mutual funds. The FII, DII promoters, all others are holding on to our shares because they know how to read the balance sheet and every financial documents. So again, mentioning these facts like, okay, our ratio profit is this, our loans are secured, doesn't give that impact to the retailers who are selling these stocks.
Okay, I understand your problem.
Kanan,
Like you're saying that by mentioning out our metrics,
you were wrong.
we would
You're
not be able
factually
to
wrong.
handle
Actually, ACC crashed down after this crisis. So maybe you should take that into account. And if the ACC has crashed down, Ambuja Cement has crashed down, maybe the financial statement, the consolidated financial statement would be affected, and the liabilities would increase and the cost would decrease, which has increased by 22%. So obviously, the crisis has impacted our financial statement, and we should also take that into account. It's not mere stock
Crash
prices.
down by what sense are you telling? Our stock crash?
No, the business has crashed down, which also makes sense because the public was in hazard and it would not deal and would not engage in any business undertaking. And as the judge had already asked me the question, why would any investor invest in such a company? Therefore, any investor would look at the financial statement and they were not looking good. And that's the whole point of having the board, of taking initiative to rectify the financial statement.
Exactly. So if a company is falling and the shares are falling, people will not be willing to buy our stocks. The problem is institutional buyers, the value investors. Then there is opportunity by different kinds of investors.
I think I understand.
So those people are ready to buy our company because they understand the financial data. So
I think you're saying that the financial crisis would not be handled if we keep focusing on the metrics, right? The financial situation, the problem is not going to go if we keep talking about the numbers, right? That is one thing. And we're sitting here to solve this problem. So first of all, let's come to the basis that we're speaking. Then we can question each other and go on with our strategies, right? Does that sound good?
Yeah, that's my doubt. Like, because our financials were not affected that much before and after the report. Like, even if now the stocks are stabilizing.
Maybe first of all, had a look at the balance sheet and the current report of the company.
It was drastically affected by the
Hindenburg report. And not only the stock prices, they're undertaking their dealings, they have all lost, and the credit worthiness had gone down. Exactly. And no bank would accept their securities.
Our stocks didn't fall, no. Everything
we also had
went
other issues.
Downwards.
Everything, the whole company had shut down.
Went down, our credit line went down.
Kanan, how do you think that we would have lost a 70 billion market share in the in 2 months itself? Well, that
market
would have had
means the price of stock into number of stocks.
Price of
That's
stock
the basic calculation.
Obviously, but if there is a 70 billion market share, would that not affect our operations?
Obviously,
don't you think that $70 billion of loss would affect our efficiency in doing business?
Guys, let's just calm down for 1 minute. All right, we are here to solve this problem. All right, let's focus on the actual problem.
Exactly, just focus on the actual problem. That's what my intention was also, because most of the solutions what you are telling is on the future aspects, like buyback share. That then there is another one of Mega's input was in going for COVID, fixing that through our engineers' expertise.
Yes, increasing our profit margins.
One of the problems is, does Adani groups have that like a wing like TCS or L&T which focus on these kind of services to jump onto such an opportunity in such a quick pace? No. So even we are going for, okay, let's build a engineering to tackle all this fix COVID issue and generate more revenue. It takes time. And all the issues of the Hindenburg report is they sell the share, they wait for the share to fall, they buy back. They don't care about how the Adani is going to work for the next year.
Guys, if you have an exam tomorrow, will you start studying just before an exam, or you will start preparing like a week before it? Yes, simple. That is why we are preparing a time ahead, that when we have an opportunity, we can grab it. It's
Okay,
that
so
simple.
again, so there is a mismatch in our intention. That's what the problem I think it's arising. My problem is to tackle the ripple effect
Okay,
caused
so
by the
let's
report.
tackle. Okay, let's
Okay.
see that we are
No,
all
but
four people
Kanan,
in the
is that
month of
not
February.
correct? If we are getting onto the stock prices, if we are taking measures for the financial market, we should also be having a look on the efficiency, internal
Exactly.
efficiency, and management
Okay.
efficiency. And
Exactly. I'm
so
not
we can
denying
also
that
be
we shouldn't
proposing.
focus on the metrics. I'm
Kushi,
telling we are
No, but
focusing
wait a
more.
minute.
that's what I'm saying, that we can.
Wait.
1 second,
Listen.
Megha. 1 second. Let me complete.
Okay.
Please. Thank you. Okay. So if we are having a look at the stock price, if we are putting in place some measures for the stock prices, then it also becomes sense that we should put measures for internal efficiency. Why can we not focus on the operating efficiency? That also makes sense. So we should, in totality, take a look at all the aspects which are contributing to the downfall of the company. It's not just the
Exactly.
financial.
As a CFO, that's our role to
Okay.
look into the financials.
Okay, guys,
Yes.
I really want to hear Kanan for next 1 or 2 minutes. If you guys can allow 2 minutes to Kanan, please.
Okay, so sir, my intention is that the Hindenburg report is basically a shorting firm. So they short the sales, they release the news. When the stock falls, they buy back, make profit. So, and the entire effect of the major effect of that report was on our falling of our stock price. This caused our company to face margin calls, which is also having a billions of worth of debt. Our company had to dilute more shares. And also one of the problem allegations was there was very minimum public participation in our companies. So most of the solutions I heard is like buyback of shares, which again worsens the situation. And also getting loans. Our credit rating was decreased. We need to again pay a higher interest rate if you're going for another loan. So instead of building on the investors' confidence, which is mainly on the retailer sector, we are more focusing on the finances of the company, which is more or less the same, even and after the report. So yeah, that my intentions would be having an investor meeting, like making a public appearance again, explaining the situations in a layman term for the retailers, and issuing a statement and launching an investigation within our corporation itself, conglomerate, and also participating with the SEBI. At the same time, our primary objective is to meet the margin call. If not, we will go. They will start recovery procedures. As a company, we cannot face that. So our primary intention is to how to face that margin call. With our current finances, we are looking at diluting our promoters shareholding by 5%, which can even go further. 5 is not an upper limit, because we need that much of money to show that we are financially strong. And also we are planning to prepay existing loans. Say, okay, we have loans, but we can pay it anytime. So we are planning to prepay in around of $2.5 billion of a loan, just to show that it's a public statement, which will capture the retailer's mindset. Okay, they paid such a huge loan, such a short time. They are not having any money problem. If they were, they cannot pay this loan. Second, again, the second is like we may have to sell few of the holdings we have in multiple ports or airports to raise additional funds to meet this fluctuation. Once everything is settled, we are good to go. Again, as we said, we can again give the focus back to these matrices. But my objective is currently is to stabilize the fluctuation that stock market is facing.
Excuse me, may I follow up to this?
Yeah, I do have a follow-up.
Yeah, sure.
Kushi, 2 minutes. 2 minutes, please. So, Kanan, basically you said was to not do buyback, not to external loans, okay, and to sell off some of our holdings. If I summarize this, correct?
One correction, not to external loans. Like if we are going for external loans, we will end up paying higher interest rate because our credit rating is decreasing. That's it.
Okay, done. So why do we do buyback? To stop the fluctuation of our stocks.
We can't. That's the problem.
That is our future goal. No? That is not our current goal. We cannot do it currently.
Guys, 1 minute. Guys, Kanan, Devansh, you don't have to fight about it. Devansh, you put your point, like what do you think Kanan was right or wrong, and then what's your solution, and complete it in 2 minutes. Okay?
Okay, sorry.
And Karan, you can listen till he does that, right? You don't have to counter on anyone's point. You have already submitted your point, and we'll see about it. Okay?
Sorry, sir. Thank you.
Right.
So, and the point of the loan was to increase investors' confidence on us and to increase our fluidity. Okay, so no other point was there. So we can also take an higher amount of loan from the existing people who are giving us the loans. We can do that first of all. And the last point you said was to sell off our holdings. So that is a very wrong thing to do. We would ultimately lose our revenue. We will lose our business by selling them. We won't stabilize by that. It is like a chain reaction. It would start occurring. You won't be able to stop. Our losses won't stop. Kushi, you want to speak? You can.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'd like to say
Megha, she said,
that
he said
no, just
Kushi.
wait a minute. You've been speaking
No,
long
actually,
enough.
I have
I
already
respected
raised my
you when
hand
you
and
had to
actually,
speak.
Megha,
Please
it's
respect
my
me
Girls,
when I have
girls,
to.
I had a
Girls.
follow-up
Please
question.
respect me when I
Please,
have
with due
to.
respect.
I did not interrupt you once. I did not
You
interrupt
are
you once.
interrupting me
All the while.
right now.
Kushi and Megha, listen. You don't have to counter your points. You just have to conclude what you think, right?
Yes, sir.
So whoever wants to go first, just raise your hand and go about it.
I already did before
Oh,
her,
you
but
want
I
to?
don't
Okay.
know why she's
Then
taking
Megha,
the
just
floor.
Then go ahead, Kushi. Just conclude your point and say like what you don't agree with Devansh or Kanan. Okay.
Okay. So first of all, I would like to believe that we had not violated any of the SEBI regulatory rules. Neither we had gone with violated the limits of the any financial institution. And whereas Karan had mentioned that most of us are looking for a buyback share, but had actually I had actually, if you're listening carefully, I had proposed the leverage buyback, which is very different from normal buyback if you know the procedure. And where Megha has mentioned that who has the shares, which again doesn't make sense. If you are a company, you're buying your own shares from any investor, any shareholder who has your existing at a much higher price of the market price. So there is no who and that, right? So there's the leverage buyback of the shares. Then the second is that we should be not taking any further loans because the company is very well equipped with the current standing, and we should be in order to finance the operation, we should be diluting our shares because that's the only way that the financial statements do not go out of the hand and they do not spindle out. And the we should be taking measures on. Right now we are focusing more on the stock prices of the company, which again is the main is the root cause for all the problems that the company is facing. But I think we should take a look on other another parameters as well. We can see that the Adani Power is have a 200% growth rate. So there, in that case, there's no need to change the operations. But we can see that the total cost has increased by 22%. So therefore, we can take measures in that direction. So there's a concept of STD. There's time direction that we should think about. And we should the combined growth rate being the 36%, that too should be increased because competitors have a much higher growth rate. And we should address this issue through media, and so that the public mainly sees us through the media. So therefore it's essential that we come in the media and make the certain announcement, and then there's no need to come clean because we haven't done anything wrong yet. And it's just an allegations by a Western company which is making so that our stock prices, our FPO, they all crash down, right? So which has already done damage to us, but we cannot take it any further, and we will be taking another measures to have it to increase our buyback, to increase our revenue, and everything that comes into place. So that's it from my side. Thank you, Devansh, for your valuable opinion. Maybe I'll be saying the same thing for the past 15 minutes.
Okay.
So,
Megha, now your
just one
let it go, Kanan. You don't have to counter that point.
All
It's
right.
fine.
So I believe to lower down the heat, I'll say that my job here as the CFO right now is not to point who's right, who's wrong, and one of us being correct and one of us being wrong is not going to bring the company any profit. And so I think the best of the thing is, first of all, I'd like to counter one point by Kanan, which said the sell-off of the assets from the Mumbai port. And I would like to support Devansh by saying that, yes, he's very correct. We would lose revenue. We cannot use this as an alternative to support the company, right? Then, second thing that Khushi has stated that we cannot take loans and more debts, though this company has worked for 35 years by an intricate network of loans, by managing one company's loan eligibility and giving the company which requires the loan, even though it was not eligible to, so it could expand. And then buying these shares in the other company, suppose, I don't remember the exact names, but in 2014, yes, Khushi, I will. And I'm saying that one company in 2014 from the Adani Group itself invested in another of its companies. And by 2017, they had doubled the value of their investment. So I would like to say that, yes, it is possible to buy shares in another company and increase the profit of the whole group by itself. So we can ensure taking more debts. Right now, I think one of the questions asked was, how will we get these loans? And that was also part of the assets. We are eligible. That is why we have loans. That is how we are going to tackle the problems, right? So that is what I think is going to be helpful for the coming up. Also, one thing mentioned here was dilution of shares. And there was a contrast, which I would like to narrow down over here. One person said that there should be dilution of shares. And one person said that buyback is not as good. I don't know who said which, but I know one thing, that if we imply both of these strategies in equilibrium, in balance, we would be able to make increase in the investor confidence. We would also be able to increase the profits that we get if we use them strategically.
Excuse me, can I get a turn now? Just one point I would like to ask.
Can you do, Devansh, one better thing for me? Let's conclude, yes, like whatever all four of you have given, let's conclude on that line, right? Don't just add your point, just add all the 3 points and then give us a conclusion.
So yeah, yes, sir. Basically, what Kanan said was to sell off was the wrong point, sir. Buyback is a future option that we would like to do to stabilize our stocks. Khushi said about dilution. And dilution won't make our promoters happy. It would cause a panic inside our promoters. That would be a really wrong point. And losing our promoters would cause a major setback in our business. And yeah, this is what I would like to conclude with, sir.
Okay. Can I ask you guys one question? Like, all of you are talking about different finance and reports. Out of you four, can someone tell me, like, what is the difference between revenue and valuation?
Revenue is the amount of money we get by the goods or services we sold.
Okay.
And valuation is how the market values the based in, again, taking into kind of revenue and asset and everything, how much the company is worth. Like if I have a retailer or market valuation, if a retail person is valuing our company, they are going to give us a price tag. The entire company is worth this much money, which can be multiple times of what our revenue stream is.
I believe that the revenue is revenue basically focus on the current year earnings, and the market and the valuation basically focus on the company's ability to earn to predict the future revenue of the company, and it also takes into account the goodwill of the company.
Okay. One valuation would be the. It's fine. You're going to say the same answer. It's fine. It's copybook answer, right? The Adani lost valuation, right? It didn't lose the revenue, right? So next time when you'll think on these terms, right? All of you, I think, like if you have participated at CFO, you all want to become a CFO in future, right? First thing which I'll tell you is, like, maintain the decorum of the situation, right? You cannot do catcalling on each other, right? Even if some other person is giving a point, an opinion, it's an opinion, right? It may be wrong, it may be right? But you cannot do a catcall fight on it, right? Second thing is, think finance as two things. One is possibility and another one is probability. probability of something happening and possibility of what is happening. As a CFO, your job is to work on probabilities, not on possibility. Possibility is operation jobs. Okay. So next time, whenever you'll think on finance and all this number, do that kind of analysis. But very well analysis. Like I guess you all are in your mid-20s, right? Early 20s, right? If I'm not wrong. But good job. Good job on understanding the finance of the situation or the intricacies of the situation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, so let's move on to the next case study, which is on compliance. Team IIT Hyderabad can start.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am a chief compliance officer of Adani Groups, and I am from IIT Hyderabad. I represent IIT Hyderabad. So I would like to. So the problem I was given was, as a chief compliance officer, how would you navigate the complex challenges faced by Adani Groups, including the Carmichael coal mine project controversy and the allegations of fraudulent practices and environmental violations. So firstly, I would like to talk about the Carmichael coal mine. So the Carmichael coal mine is a thermal coal mine under construction in Galley Basin in central Queensland, and the allegations and the controversies about these coal mines goes as follows. First is about the carbon emission. Since it is one of the world's largest coal mines, the allegations are the mine would add up around 4.7 billion tons of carbon pollution over 60 years of the lifespan. Second is it will affect the indigenous people. The allegations are that the project will destroy the ancestral lands, water, and cultures of the indigenous people. The third controversy or allegation on these mines are that this project will affect the biodiversity of the Great Barrier Reef heritage area. So the potential solutions or arguments on these Carmichael coal mine project that I would like to suggest are, firstly, I would like to go for the social factor. The Carmichael coal mine project is one of the largest coal mine in the world. On completion of the project, it will deliver 1,500 direct and around 7,000 indirect jobs for local indigenous people, which will enhance their standard of living and help reducing the poverty. Secondly, I would like to go for the economic growth. The project will ensure that the shipping traffic near the Carmichael coal mines project in the Queensland will increase, which will result in higher revenue generation, higher in trading of goods, and etc. Like the shipping traffic near the Queensland will increase. Thirdly, I would like to go for the global energy. It is a global energy powerhouse. Since it is one of the largest coal mines in the world, we claim that it will produce 10 million tons of thermal coal per annum. Since we are still short on alternate ways of energy sources, renewable energy sources to meet the growing needs of the world, therefore, coal extracted from this project will make energy more affordable and fulfill the rapidly increasing demand of energy. The fourth is environmental mitigations. We have stated before that this project involves the use of modern technology like high efficiency, low emissions, HELE, coal-fired power plants that will reduce the carbon emissions compared to the older coal plants. In fact, the older coal plants emit more carbon emissions due to the degraded quality of coal, which will not be the case with the Carmichael coal mines. Other few allegations on these coal mines are about the use of the groundwater, underground water. So already Mr. Gautam Adani had stated that this project must comply with complies with strictly regulatory framework to ensure groundwater is protected. The state and federal government approvals for the Carmichael coal mines include around 100 different conditions relating to groundwater. And also, we have been working closely with regulators over a very long period of time. The scientific information has provided that the groundwater in and around the mine to inform how it is managed and monitored. This includes using data collected from our network of more than 100 groundwaters monitoring bores work. Then I would like to talk about the other problems, that are the allegations of fraudulent practices. So after the Hindenburg research report was filed, so in February 2023, Hindenburg report was published, and the report accused the Adani groups of fraudulent practices and environmental violations. On this, I would like to say that I would like to question the credibility and the authority of the Hindenburg research company. The Adani, it is the basis of this. As we know, the Hindenburg research is the short-selling company whose the motive of generating revenue is by short selling other stocks. So since it filed the report, the price of our shares went drastically down, and they made their profit. There is no credibility or authority of this company, because the whole motive of this could be and it was to just make their own money. Secondly, I would like to challenge their evidence. In the report, there is no valid evidence presented in Hindenburg report, and it is insufficient and misleading. And the accuracy of the information provided the accuracy of information provided is baseless. So the next point about the SEBI's investigation. So after the Hindenburg report was filed, the SEBI filed an investigation on our Adani groups. About this investigation, I would like to say that as Indian law suggests, that innocent until proven guilty. So on the SEBI's investigation, until any they make any statements regarding that we have been proven guilty, we have not done anything wrong. And since no public statement was made by any official of SEBI, so I think that we are safe regarding this. At last, I would like to suggest some of the proactive risk management and regulatory compliances. First, we can partnership with we can have external partnerships and certifications that will include us collaborating with external organizations such as sustainability consultants and auditors to gain independent insights and certifications that demonstrate the group's commitment to environmental and social responsibilities. Next, we can go for continuous improvement and adaptation. This means regularly reviewing and updating risk management and compliance process to align with the evolving regulations, industry best practices, and social expectations. This includes staying informed about emerging environment and social issues and adapting strategies accordingly. Next, I would like to talk about the whistleblower mechanism. In this, I would like to suggest establishing effective whistleblower mechanism to encourage employees and stakeholders to report any potential legal or ethical violations. This mechanism will ensure confidentiality, protect against retaliation, and proper investigation of reported concerns. At last, I would like to say, okay, so are there any questions?
I have a very simple question. How are you going to do the compliance of the mines that you didn't tell us? Do you know the controversy behind that mines?
Yeah, so the controversy behind the mines were basically it was about the what was the it was controversized about the carbon emissions, the effects on indigenous people, and the environmental effects that it caused. So the solution, solutions I proposed were we can give a counter argument that we are creating jobs. I told us, and as a social factor, then the economic growth we are by if the project gets completed, how vast will be the economic growth. Then it will be a global energy powerhouse. It is one of the largest coal mines that will produce around 10 million tons of thermal coal per year. And
economic growth for whom?
so economic growth, like in the Queensland, the near the coal mines, their shipping traffic will vastly increase, which will result in higher revenue generation for nearby area and the people, and also increase trading of various goods.
So do you know where that coal is used for Carmichael coal mines?
Sorry, what?
Where do the Adani use that coal mines coal? Do you know that? Where do they use that coal?
Sorry.
No worries. Okay. I don't have any other question.
The
If
next thing.
possible, one quick conclusion in 2-3 points.
So I would like to conclude by saying that basically we our image among the public is not so good. So we can focus currently on in very layman terms what I've just told, and about the Carmichael coal mines, the controversies. We can explain it as in what are the good effects of the mines, how much it will affect in what are the pros of the coal mines basically, and about the Hindenburg report. It's like we just we need to invest on the PR and yeah.
So don't you think any work being a CCO, apart from clearing the the statements of the media and other things, what exactly you have to do, CCO? You haven't given any point for that.
For future, I have told that what measures we can take to risk manage and for risk management.
Exactly.
Yeah. So for future, I have told that we can have external participation and certification with the sustainability consultants and all that. And we need to have continuous improvement and adaptation in our own how to review our and how to review and update our own risk management system. And then I've suggested about the whistleblower mechanism, and finally the regular risk assessment process.
Okay, cool, done.
Team MNNIT.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
So I'm Rudraj Srivastava from ESL MNNIT, and I am the acting CEO for Adani Group. I would broadly talk about Carmichael coal mine controversy, Hindenburg report, SEBI investigation, and the latest one being US regulators' actions. Starting from the Carmichael coal mine project, the controversy is mainly based on two allegations: impact on carbon emissions, and the other one being water depletion. So regarding consumption of water, Queensland government have granted Adani 60-year water license to extract water it needs. So there won't be any legal issues regarding that. For water depletion concerns, as out of 250 liters of water needed per ton of coal produced, only a quarter of that is fresh water and the rest is recycled water. And we'll work to reduce as much as the fresh water use as it can be. Regarding CO2 emissions, I will comply with our Australian regulators and for any potential legal access against the project, and also will work with environment activists and organizations that are showing their concerns about the CO2 emissions and show them our efforts to reduce the CO2 emissions. So to extent that coal mine from the contributes to the global warming, it is a threat to the coral reef. But the mine will also have a more direct impact since the coal will be transported to India via a shipping terminal on the Queensland coast at Abbott Point. Opposite that, there is reef, increasing the risk of collisions and spills, excessive coal due to harming corals, excessive dust, coal dust harming corals. We'll address this concern as we have experience in operating ports as well as ships, so we can reduce risk of any collisions and potential spillovers. As Queensland unemployment rate is 6.4%, project will give 10,000 direct and indirect jobs to locals. And as said by Australian Minister for Environment and Energy, Josh Frydenberg, that it will help lift hundreds of millions of people out of energy poverty, not in India, but right across the world. Globally, there are concerns about Adani Group's carbon emissions. So, to counter that and build a good reputation, I will show the working towards the green energy projects, like the project that is being made in Kewada district, Gujarat. It is one of the biggest hybrid solar power plant with an investment of 30,000 crore. And our other solar energy productions include 4,913 megawatt in production and 10,630 under construction. Wind power, we have 971 megawatt under generating and 1,180 megawatt in under construction. Let's come to the Supreme Court committee and SEBI investigations. The expert committee appointed by the Supreme Court following the Hindenburg allegations against the Adani Group has concluded that it would be difficult to point to a regulatory failure on the part of SEBI. On the questions whether there was a price manipulation in Adani stocks, the committee said that SEBI didn't find any pattern of artificial trading or wash trading among the same parties. Coming on the SEBI investigation, Supreme Court has given SEBI till 14 August, and SEBI has to submit report by then. I will be in contact of SEBI and ensure them full support regarding documents needed, and we'll wait till the SEBI submits its report. Next, coming to the US regulators and the latest advancement, there are media reports about US Attorney General's office in Brooklyn, New York, sending inquiries about the statement made by us to investors having large holding in Adani Group. There have not been any confirmation yet, either from the investor or any other stakeholders. But I will be in contact with the stakeholders and investors, and if there is some concern of US regulators, I will proactively work to address them and build a positive reputation of the group globally. And globally, there are concerns about the Adani Group's activities, and I will ensure that group comply with rules and regulations of the country that we work in, and will work to ensure healthy corporate culture across Adani Groups and its subsidiary companies. That's all. Is there any question?
How are you reducing your reputational risk?
So basically, the reputational risk is connected with the Hindenburg report. And regarding Hindenburg report, there's a clean sheet from the Supreme Court committee that Supreme
Is
Court
it only
panel
with
has
Hindenburg report? Sorry.
Apart from Hindenburg report, there was some allegations from the regulators across the world regarding stock manipulations and else something. But till the SEBI files its final report on 14th August in Supreme Court, by then we'll wait and see what are the allegations said, and to counter those allegations, our PR team will work for that.
Where you have to file this legal proceeding in which court?
The Supreme Court has formed a committee. Yes, sir. The Supreme Court of India has previously formed a committee that has filed the report, and SEBI is. Yes, sir.
Where is the mines? Carmichael coal.
Carmichael coal mine. It is in Australia.
Okay, and then what are the controversies?
So Carmichael coal mines, basically there was two controversies related to that. One was climate effects like CO2 emissions and the coral reef issues, and the other one being water depletion. So regarding water depletion, we have that there won't be any legal issues, as the Queensland government have given us a license to use fresh water up to 60 years. And regarding environmental concerns, water being used per ton of coal produced is 250 liters, and out of which 1/4 only is of fresh water, and the rest one is of recycled water. And we are proactively working to reduce the fresh water contribution towards it.
Okay, I'll cut it short. So there is coral reef problem, right? And the indigenous people land problem. Where will the Adani file the cases? In which court? In India or in Australia?
So, as
And
if
where
there
you have to
any
change your reputation again, where you have to change the reputation in India or in Australia?
so in both India and Australia, there is a serious
Why in India?
reputational risk because of the SEBI investigation and the Supreme Court Committee of stock manipulations and in promoters major
But your
shareholdings.
job is not on finance. You are CCO, right? Compliance.
Yes, sir. So, there is because of the stock manipulation, there is a problem for compliance because stock manipulation is not legal, and if SEBI files a report against us, the compliance officer has to respond.
Okay. Not the finance officer.
So, for stock manipulation, the legal things will be done by compliance officer, and the financial things will be done by CFO.
Right. Any other questions?
No.
All right. We can move to the next team then. VIT.
Hi, fellow board members. This is Prateek Gupta, Chief Compliance Officer of Adani Group. Today we are going to discuss upon two mottos, Carmichael Core Mine Controversy and Risk Management of Adani Group. So starting with Carmichael Core Mine Controversy, it's a 60-year contract which is going to produce 2.3 billion tons of thermal coal, and it will create 70 million tons per year and give employability of around 1,500 in Australia per year. So there are some bodies like IPCC and UNDP, International Panel of Climate Change and United Nations Development Program, which have signed some of the treaties like Agenda 2023 and Paris Agreements, according to which there is a cap on carbon budget, and you are all the industries across the world are limited to produce 4.6 billion tons of carbon emissions, and which we are exceeding by 0.5%. So first of all, I would like to bring up the light. These United Nations bodies are in much favor of developed nation. For any underdeveloped or developing nation, it is very much required to do some of the industrial activities which are going to produce some carbon emissions. So there are fundamental flaws in their bodies. So coming up to the solution, how we are going to tackle them, the cases they have put on us. First of all, I should clear it out that they are fundamentally flawed and baseless. For that, what we are going to do is put a lot of money in our financial department. We don't want the case to be closed now because the sentiments in Australian market is bad for us. We want to prolong it as long as possible so that the annual revenue which we are going to generate by 70 million tons of coal is prolonged and we can make profits out of it. And by the time we can improve our sentiments over there. So for that, what we are going to do is put our money in public welfare of Australian market and join hands with the Australian government to support them in infrastructure and other projects. All right. And coming up with the reputation risk management of Adani Group, then we are going to talk about two levels, international and national level. On international level, the biggest hurdle we are facing is through Hindenburg. So what Hindenburg is and does is it's a short selling firm which uses the information in the market to put out some bad reputation of a company and short sells according to them. So what we are going to do, first of all, we are going to file a case against the Hindenburg, so they are restricted to take any another measures in the market. And by that time, we are going to release some of the misinformation through the channels where Hindenburg is receiving the information so that the credibility of Hindenburg can be reduced. Talking about Indian sentiments and the market, what we are going to do, we are going to put some money into upcoming elections or campaigns. So let's say in 2024 there's going to be election and BJP has a very strong hold. So we are going to put some money into their campaign so that we have a direct support in our favor. We are going to redirect our CSR funds into more publicly visible domains. Let's say Indian ration schemes. We are directly going to sponsor that so that in every micro level we have a good visibility and good credibility. So that's how we are going to take care of the reputation on national level. So that was my take on this topic. So I'm open to the questions right now.
I have a simple question. What are the
Yes, Amit, please.
responsibilities, job responsibilities of a compliance officer?
To take care of all the the point is ki whatever state things I have stated over there, it's a long term requirement of our company. Obviously it's not in my direct power to take care of all of them, but how I'm gonna take it forward is joining hands with other authorities in my own group. That is how I'm gonna take it forward rather than take it in by myself itself.
Okay. Then what's your strategy on proactive risk management?
As I told you, ki, see, the point is ki for our company, we can't afford to close the case as soon as possible about the Carmichael case. All right, because if it happens, a huge portion of our profit or revenue generation goes down. All right, either it will be in our favor, in which case there will be another allegations coming to us again and again, which are gonna hurdle us, or either it's gonna be against our favor, which is gonna like remove all our present progress. All right. So what I'm trying to do is like take it in a diplomatic way by putting more money in my legal department so that they can prolong it in such a way so that our operations are not hurdles, so that we are able to produce some profits out of it, which we will direct into our legal department and we can process as smoothly as possible for as long period of time.
That's risk management. What is proactive about?
Like what do you want to particularly know about, like which particularly risk are you willing to talk about? Is it about our reputation in the market, or is it about the particular
No,
case we are
let's
talking
talk
about?
about the mining risk which are there, like great coral reef or indigenous people or CO2 problem. What is the proactive about your risk management?
See, first of all, the point is key. There are going to be some carbon emissions which are on great level because the project we are doing is on a very big level. Okay, so we can't just say ki we are just gonna do a technological advancement or something which is gonna directly remove all the carbon emissions. But what we can do for the coral reef, what we can do, we can choose another path of transportation which doesn't affect their coral reefs. All right, and we can put a lot of money in there. NGOs we are which are working in favor of coral reefs over there, so that we are directly helping them out in that thing.
Okay.
Okay. And apart from that, I guess most of the things are covered. As I
That's
already
okay.
told you, we are going to put some money in the public welfare so that we have a good sentiment over there, and we are going to be in direct support of all the uh, government regulations and bodies who want a better carbon environment in the country. All right.
Any other questions, judges?
What legal changes you will be aspiring to do for
Come
the
again.
incident? Hello.
Meet, I'm not able to hear you out. Can you repeat it, please?
Yeah, sure. Audible, right?
Yeah, now you are.
Okay, so I was asking what legal changes in the company or in the policies you gonna, you need to do.
First of all, like I would like my company to take care of all the regulations that are being given out by the government of India or the government of Australia or another regulations. All right, so that it is under compliance of all of them. Apart from that, I'm taking another turn over there. Like obviously we are gonna comply with all the legal aspects, but the strategy which I am trying to take is completely different. We are gonna follow all the rules, but we are gonna prolong it so that it doesn't affect our business directly. Getting my point? So it's about more about the strategy rather than the legal um, proceedings itself.
Okay, cool enough. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so moving forward, Team Aryabhatta.
Yeah, so good afternoon to everyone. I am Richard Sharma and I'll be acting as the CCO or the Chief Compliance Officer of Adani Group. So, coming to the agenda of today's meeting, the first problem that we are facing is the staunchly opposed Carmichael Mines operations. So, first of all, I would like to bring to the notice of the board of directors that we are completely complying with the local norms and we are operating under prescribed limits. And also at the same time, we respect the sentiments and concerns of the local people. And talking about the area in which we are mining, so Queensland is the area that in which we are mining. Queensland unemployment rate is at 6.4%, and even it is higher in some areas. And with our $21 billion investment in the region to operate our coal mines, we will be providing close to 10,000 jobs in the region that will uplift the economy of the region. And also, in the first phase of our operation since December, we have generated more than 1,500 jobs. And the FTA or the free trade agreement between India and Australia will help boost the economic ties, and also it will increase the bilateral trade. And also, to tackle the environmental concerns, Adani Group has been committed to implementing environmentally sustainable practices in the project. And we'll be using latest technology to reduce the project's environmental impact like HELE, high efficiency, low emission, coal-fired power plants, and water saving measures. Also, additionally, we have more than 100 groundwater monitoring bores work that are monitoring the groundwater level and ensuring that we are not polluting the groundwater or using the water above prescribed limits. And also, we have, like as Mr. Ayani said, that we have to maintain at least 20 centimeters, like we cannot drop more than 20 centimeters in the groundwater level. So you are very well within the limits. And also, to talk about some of our measures, Adani Group has been committed to implement various environment-friendly policies, and it can be witnessed in the Tamil Nadu project that we took over. That is the world's largest solar power project, and it has been expected to generate 648 megawatts of electricity. That is enough to power 150,000 homes. And also mangrove reforestation in Adani ports and increasing renewable mix in power procurement from 3% in FY21 to 30% in FY23 and 60% in FY27 in Adani Electricity Mumbai. That is a part of Adani Transmission Limited. Also, the Adani Group has been committed to achieving net zero emissions by 2050 and will be increasing our capacity by 2025. Also, to give you a brief about all the norms that we are complying with in global perspective is TCFD, SBTI, CDP, and SDGs. So basically, what these norms talks about are basically major factors are water neutrality, zero to waste landfill, mangrove afforestation, zero biodiversity net loss, and carbon neutrality. And the solutions that we are coming up with to tackle the problem in Carmichael coal mines is that we will be involving the local people of the region to understand their sentiments and work within a direction that is not harmful for us as well as for those people. And we'll be understanding the local laws of the country and the area and also the global treaties that we have been working. Also, we'll be taking up some measures to help the coral reef damage, if any, and we'll be giving back to the society in form of like helping NGOs out or even through various financial incentives for the region, and that will create a good image of our business in publics. And corals, we will be handling through our experience in port handling like, at various ports in India also. So now coming on to the second problem, that is the SEBI regulatory problem. So firstly, I would like to assure you that we are completely complying with the Rule 19A that implies that which stipulates that every company listed in the stock market has to maintain at least 25% shareholding. And we are well within those limits. Also, talking about the Morgan Stanley Capital International, like we have been reduced from the index. So we are in talks with them to show them that we are not like on the bad side after the Hindenburg report and various false allegations that are baseless. So we are in talks with them to again go on that indexes and have a clear picture of Adani Group in the global scenario. And also, talking about the risk management strategies, is that the company is operating in a highly regulated industry, and we are complying with the applicable laws and regulations. And to manage potential risks, the Adani Group has implemented a robust risk management framework. Also, it has established a risk management committee that oversees the management practices and oversees compliance. And I would like to assure you that we have been fairly transparent in our workings and even displayed it at various public events like Investor Roadshow in Singapore. And I think that the events like Investors Roadshow in Singapore are a good way of expressing ourselves to the public and our investors that will help clean up our image after the all the allegations that have been put forward for us. Also, the Adani Group invests heavily in compliance programs and also to ensure that all the employees and stakeholders understand their responsibilities and obligations. And the board of directors also oversees the following of various compliances, and we have been in touch with them and all the Adani subsidiary companies. And also, we have also established a whistleblower policy that encourages employees to report any potential violations of laws or regulations. And to increase our transparency and openness to the public in dealings, we have also put forward the data related to our ongoing projects, their progress, their fast phases, and also the future plans of those projects. And that is how we'll be tackling, like being transparent as we have always been, and putting our way forward instead of the false baseless allegations that have been like countered to us. So that's all from my side. Thank you. So any questions?
I don't have any question.
No question.
Okay, so let's start the discussion round. The floor is open for the participants.
So,
yeah, sure.
I would like to start by discussing the steps of the proactive risk management. So, for future, I would like to state some of the. We need to show the world that we are doing the NGO and the environmental friendly work, such as we need to have some partnerships with external NGOs who work in this. Who work in these who work for the environment, and we need to have them on our side. Also, we need to collaborate with some socialists and environmentalists, and we need to discuss our projects with them and take their opinions about it, and try to go for a project in a more sustainable way. This
and
is
like
one
also,
of the things.
any one of you also mentioned about having a partnership with like the global organizations to help reach our sustainable goals and all. So, what exactly are you hoping to do in that? Like, what organizations do you have in mind, or what policies do you have that we need to comply with that?
So coral reefs and such issues are a very major issues over there. So they have formed a couple of NGOs to support all the activities which are gonna preserve these things. So what we are gonna do, we are gonna fund their campaigns. So indirectly, we are proving to the market that we are concerned about the goodwill of the local people over there and the things that they are gonna undertake.
And like apart from investing in NGOs, can we also hold some of an event from ourselves, basically giving some information regarding what coral reefs are, how they are important to us, and how they need to be preserved. So that will create a good impression to the public.
Correct. So we can take it under Adani Group so that it can be a good initiative which will improve our image in Australian market, right? we can do such events where we can invite like local authorities and local groups of people. So they are actively participating. They are working about their own goodwill, and even our reputation is being held as a good over there.
So, like the ex-Australian Prime Minister also backed us, like in the operations of Carmichael coal mines. So, how can we gather more support from other leaders in Australia that have an impact? So, I think that will also like cater to the need of improving our public relations. So, how can we target these leaders? Like, do you have any idea in mind?
One of the back-end ways directly fund their campaigns. All right. Like for their election campaigns, we can promise them whatever their agenda is, we are gonna support in that things. All right, so that we can have a direct support of the leaders in their particular area.
But like, don't you think it will look bad on our side because people will think that we are just doing it for our propaganda? Or do we have any
No,
other?
no, no. It is not public. It is not at all public. We are indirectly helping out the public sector over there by helping out the leaders from the back end. Getting my point? There are some promises done by the leaders in their particular states, and we are going to fund them for that particular project. So it's a win-win for both of the parties. We are going to get support from the leaders, and leaders are going to fulfill the promises they have done to their public. And if they state out ki yeah, Adani Group has helped us out for this particular project, then it's a better thing for us also. But it is not at all forming a bad image of ours in any of the public places.
No, I think if this word comes out, ki we are funding, funding their election campaigns, don't you think like we already have allegations about Gautam Adani, Mr. Gautam Adani, and a few of our ministers in India, which doesn't look good on the whole of the Adani Group. So doing the same thing in Australia and other parts of the world will make it just worse. This is not a solution to, I think, this problem.
There are better ways to take it forward, right? Like there are a lot of government initiatives, as I already mentioned, like the ration schemes of India, right? So over there, people like they are. So what we can do in place of directly helping them out in the campaigns, the money government is putting down in their schemes, we can sponsor it by ourselves. So basically, we are directly helping out the public sector by sponsoring government rather than paying money for their own campaigns. Getting my point? So there are a lot of ways.
Basically, focus more on the CSR schemes, right? The corporate.
Yeah, that's true. We should not like involve with the government schemes in this.
Yeah,
instead, we should go for NGOs and private organizations which are doing the these.
And like also with our partner companies in Australia, what we can do is we can help those companies grow. If we can we have in India a lot of subsidiaries, so any one of them can partner with that. For example, if Adani Power is there, so Adani Power can partner with an Australian power limited company, and they can exchange technologies and also help building cleaner ways of generating electricity in place of.
Correct.
So that's what I think would be a great measure.
So apart from just lobbying, can we focus on doing stuff to reduce the environmental risk, which is a major concern? Because globally across the world, there's a serious concern that Adani Group is involved in corruption and other stuff like in India and across the world. So if we do the same stuff in Australia, that will be an additional reputational risk across the world. So if we can reduce the environmental risk and we can ensure the social NGOs that we are reducing and will work to reduce the carbon emissions and water degradations, that would be much better from just lobbying
we have
and
to
giving
also give them numbers now. Like they won't believe in our words. We also have to give them numbers. Like it was at this level and we have brought it down to this level. So that is what we are going to do. We'll be transparent.
So apart from just lobbying, like the water degradation issue, there's 250 liters of the water that is used per ton of coal. So if the fresh water is reduced, the contribution of the fresh water is reduced, and the water that is being used is majorly the recycled water, it won't be an issue of environmental risk. So like this, the solutions can address every NGO. You can't feed every NGO with money. And there are companies like Samsung and like many other big companies that have backed out from the financing the project because of these NGOs, and there are so many NGOs. How we can handle it? We should
Yes, and the
No,
stop
focus
Adani
one way
movement
of
is
going
also
about this
creating a big
problem
issue
is
for us.
one way of going about this problem is like about the Carmichael coal mines. We can take it as a short-term project that we are just extracting the coal. We are just having this project for a short
We
period of
can't do
time.
that. Pratyush, I would like to
The
counter
contract is
on
for
this.
60
It's
years.
a
yeah.
very long-term contract, 60 years contract. We can't state in any way that it's a small-term project.
And we have invested a lot in that.
One of the way we can move forward with it is ki in the local place, which is Australia, we can put some money in renewable energy sources, all right, in green energy and other ways, so that we can, if not increase our sentiments over there, we can actually put the sentiments on equilibrium that we are putting our money in both the segments, like coal mining and plus renewable energy sources. So it's
And
a
it will be
welfare.
more cost efficient because we have also done this project in Tamil Nadu. So the technology we have used in Tamil Nadu in installing the solar power plants, it will be helpful for the power plants that we also need to like the renewable power plants we need to set up in Australia. So that is what like it will be a cost effective method also.
We can do extensive research
and also
over
showing to
there.
those
See
NGOs.
what is their. Yeah, Rudransh, please go forward.
Yeah. So and also like the major projects that are being done by Adani Group, Adani Green Limited in India, that should be shown to those NGOs that we are just not working on the fuel and the carbon rich fuels. Like we are also working broadly towards the solar energy, wind energy, and hydropower plants, etc. So we are
And
working
that's
on
what
both
I meant
sectors.
by renewable energy sources.
Yeah, and basically the problem is apart from lobbying, we have to focus on reducing the risk. There are three major concerns. One is for coral reef, one is for water degradation, and one is for the local indigenous peoples. So for local peoples, we are giving them jobs, and as Queensland unemployment rate is at 6.4%. That will also reduce because of this coal mine, and the Australian economy will get profits from that. And the water degradation issue can be it, as I have said that in 250 liters of water, one fourth is only fresh water, and rest of is the recycled waters. And the fresh water content can be reduced. We have to focus on to reduce the fresh water contribution in market. So water degradation concern will be addressed from that, and the rest is coral reef. And as I think Rishit had said that we are working in port sector in India. We have rich experience in maintaining the ship containers and ports, managing the ports. So the coral reef, the spillover and the collisions between the tankers and the spillover of the coals, which will greatly affect the coral reefs, that can be reduced. And we can show the NGOs that we have rich experience in that, and we'll work to use the
And also like to handle the public relations side of this thing, I think
Yeah,
as a
actually, the
roadshow
time's
we
up.
did in
Rishit, can you do one
Yes.
thing, one better? Like just conclude the points with everyone, right? Whoever gave the
Yeah.
point, just conclude
Okay,
it
sure.
now.
So the first thing that we have come up is like the conclusion is that we'll be taking various measures to help the local people, and the second is like as Rudrams mentioned, we can use our port handling technologies to handle the coral reef issue that might arise in Australia. And also we'll be complying with the like the authorities. And the second thing that we can do is to improve our public image in Australia. We did a roadshow in Singapore for our investors and also for public. So what we can do is to gain their trust. We can also do similar kind of roadshows and partner with NGOs. So that is what we are mainly focusing on right now.
All right, I guess this will conclude our entire agenda. Right.
Great, good job, guys. Good job, guys. You all did a good job here. Like you actually understood the what you are supposed to do as a compliant officer, and you all did a good job. Great.
Thank you, sir.
So let's move to the next domain then, that is human resource. IIT,
Yeah,
you
hello.
can.
Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, we'll start. Hello everyone, this is Aditya Gupta and I as company CHRO welcome you all to the boardroom discussion on HR practices here at Adani Group. The past few months have been nothing short of tumultuous for us. We have faced numerous allegations about the work culture, how our employees are treated, how the HR sector of Adani Group has become a dead weight in the company's growth, unable to tackle employee concerns and handle the company reputation. The three major issues raised here are: first, the absence of labor unions; second, the allegation of discrimination and harassment; and the third, the high attrition of skilled employees. These issues pose significant challenges to the Adani Group's HR practices and require immediate attention and remedial measures to create a supportive work environment, eventually to establish employee representation mechanism. In short, this discussion aims to bring us back on track and provide the vision for HR practices here at Adani Group, which would further entail: first, improving HR practices, inculcating transparency and accountability, and lastly, improving the employee welfare and work-life balance. Unlike typical HR strategies, the proposal today is to bring a comprehensive loop as a solution, right? HR practices today conventionally consider employees as a means to an end. Instead, here at Adani, we now aim to shift this perception, consider employees not as workers but rather as stakeholders, partners in business in a way. All of this is possible through an algorithm, through a loop, continuous loop that we are proposing, which involves monitoring and improvement, regular monitoring of the work environment through employee surveys, focus groups or engagement metrics to gauge the effectiveness of the short-term measures and identify areas for improvement. We use this feedback to further refine policies and initiatives over time. So the solution has certain paths, 3 to 4 paths. The first and the most important one is to create a shift in our mindset, right? As of now, we consider employees as workers, and now here at Adani, we aim to shift that mindset and we aim to make them more accountable, to make them more as partners, as business partners, right? So this is possible by considering the importance of HR as equally important as outreach or innovation, right? So we'll have review and update employment policies. We'll conduct comprehensive review of employment policies to ensure that they're up to date, aligned with current laws and regulations. Second measure is to strengthen the record-keeping practices of the company. Establish robust record-keeping systems to maintain accurate and comprehensive records of employment-related matters. This include personal files, performance evaluations, disciplinary actions, so on and so forth. The third is a very, very independent and a strong HR department. This would include necessary training and resources to the HR team to ensure that they can address employee concerns, handle grievances, and promote a positive work environment. The fourth would be to implement a whistleblower protection and confidential grievance portal, right? Establishing a formal whistleblower policy that protects employees who report any unlawful or unethical behavior from retaliation. And lastly, we'll have a work-life balance establishment, which will have clear and comprehensive policies that outline employer rights, fair treatment, and anti-discriminatory measures. Now I'll talk about the impacts of success and how it will affect the company's organizational structure. Right, the first and the most important impact would be to mitigate legal and reputational risk. Transparent HR practices will reduce the risk of lawsuits, penalties, and reputational damages resulting from allegations, which was mentioned in the case study. Compliance with labor laws and best practices strengthens the organization's integrity and credibility. Second would be increased production and innovation. Every single employee feels their voices are heard. When they feel that their voices are heard, they're more likely to contribute their ideas, collaborate, and perform the best. So supportive work environment and clear policy promote employees' well-being, leading to increased productivity and innovation. And lastly, we'll have improved employment engagement and retention. Transparent and inclusive HR policies will create a positive work environment where employees feel valued. This will foster higher levels of engagement, job satisfaction, and loyalty, reducing attrition rates and improving employee retention. Yes, now I'm open to questions.
So your solution is to do the bookkeeping, keep all the documents in check.
Yes.
Right, those were initial two. So are you saying that Adani Group is not doing that right now?
In recent times, Adani has shifted to certain improvements. They have made use of softwares and digital AI models in which grievances are recorded and all. But as of now, this has happened only in specific portions, specific subsections of Adani, such as Adani Vellore only. So we need to eventually focus on all different portions of Adani and inculcate all of these practices everywhere. So that is the focus.
And that will solve which problem?
It's mainly because when we don't account, it's mainly solving the problem of accountability. If we have a record keeping, if we have a system of checks and measures, balances, and all, so that will eventually, if it's basically, it's like out of sight, out of mind. So if you have something like that on paper or on a record keeping, and you can see that these problems have not been tackled, then the company will eventually have to be accountable for that. So that is solving the major problem of accountability.
Okay, so accountability of HR department, right?
Yes, the grievances and all the grievances of the employees. So all of that will be in one place, and eventually that will help make a systematic approach, have a systematic approach of solving the problems.
And what about labor union?
Yes, labor union. Eventually, the labor union is also part of CHRO's job, and we will have to have measures which
It's not
improve.
part of HRO's job.
Sorry?
It's not part of HRO's job. Labor union.
Labor union, HRO's job is to take care of the company culture, right? The company, the workspace of the company, to see employee engagement and all. And eventually, labor unions have one is they act like pressure groups, and eventually, if the employees are not happy, they form labor unions and pressurize the company to take certain measures. So CHRO, in a way, is affecting the employees' job satisfaction and all. So we'll have certain measures in place that will form, better labor unions.
Okay. All right.
Really sorry, but not able to understand what you will be doing for the accountability in the case of accountability.
Accountability, we'll change certain legal structure of the company. We'll have more. We'll basically foster open and transparent communication. We'll have grievances portals. So the company employees will be able to transfer their grievances to the HRs, and all of that will be recorded in a certain, let's say, in a certain database, which will be monitored and which will act as a system of checks and balances, so that can be accessed by a lot of people. So all in all, when we are trying to make it transparent in a database, in a digital structure and all, so that will promote more people looking at it, and eventually, if there are certain problems that can be highlighted. So all in all, it will promote accountability.
Okay, thank you.
Moving to next team, MNNIT.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Hello everyone. Today I'm present before you as the Chief Human Resource Officer of Adani Group. First of all, I would like to begin with a statement that the employee and employer relationship bases on trust. When an employee comes to a company, he expects growth and the security of his job. And we at Adani Group had already proved that we haven't fired a single employee on recession, whereas other big groups have fired employees on the cause of recession. Now, I would like to state that company has faced success in past, but it's like we have to change many things in HR. There are various issues that needs attention. One of the key attention that needs is absence of labor union. Labor unions. We need to acknowledge the crucial importance of the labor unions. In past, they have proved very importance in promoting the work culture and enhancing the working conditions and working rights. The absence of such groups in employment is remarkable and raises concerns about employee representation well-being. To address this, instead of having labor unions, we can have employee committees in which people can be chosen as representative by the employees, and they will raise concern regarding the work culture and other concerns. Other than that, this employee committee will also ensure the problem will also prevent the work culture harassment workplace harassment and discrimination. Any instance of these can be directly reported to the committee and they can take actions accordingly. We have also reformed our anti-discrimination and anti-harassment policy to increase its effectiveness. We can also conduct regular training program to raise awareness and promote culture of respect and inclusivity. Moving on to the problem of shortage of skilled laborers, there are two subtle approach. First one being we can directly hire top level employees and retain them, but it requires a lot of finance because the top talent requires expects a lot of money. The second approach, which is more practical, we can hire raw talents, uh, which uh, which raw talents, and we can train them according to our needs, and this will be very cost effective, and we can conduct by this we can position ourselves as an employer of choice and cultivate highly skilled and dedicated workforce which is very specific at their work. Transparency and accountability are critical elements of our HR practices. Establish Establishing open lines of communication between HR and employee can be one possible solution. Encourage employees to provide honest feedbacks, suggestions, and report concern without fear of retaliation. We can also implement some whistleblower strategies where the one who reports the issue, his identity doesn't get disclosed, so there's no chance of retaliation on him. As mentioned earlier, establishing employee forums or committees where representatives can contribute their ideas, provide input, and collaborate on HR-related initiatives. Now, we'll discuss the potential impact of these initiatives on Adani Group's organizational success. By fostering transparent and inclusive HR policies and procedures, we can create an environment where our employees feel valued, respected, and supported. This, in turn, will boost their morale, productivity, and loyalty. Improved employee satisfaction and engagement will lead to reduced turnover rates, enabling us to retain our top talent and benefit from their experience. Furthermore, a strong HR culture built on transparency and accountability will enhance our reputation among stakeholders, including investors, customers, and wider community. It will demonstrate our commitment to ethical and responsible business practices, ultimately contributing to our long-term success. In conclusion, addressing the challenges faced by the Adani Group is in its HR practices require a strategic plan focused on fostering transparency and inclusivity by establishing open channels for dialogues, implementing anti-discrimination measures, attracting and retaining skilled workers, and enhancing transparency and accountability. We will create work environment where employees thrive and the organization flourishes. Together, we can build a culture of excellence and achieve a greater success. Thank you. Is there any questions?
What's your plan to build a talent pipeline?
So to build talent pipeline, currently we can hire like as I said, we can hire interns. If we hire interns, we can interns are raw talents. They are not very good at anything specific. We will train them in some various training through various training programs, and we will train them accordingly to our needs. We will only make them learn things that we require from them. So it will be very beneficial for us because we will get more productive workers in less amount of finance, in less amount of money.
So when you hire an intern, is it a cost to you or is it a revenue also?
Sir, it will be revenue for us in the future. They will make us revenue.
But if you are training them and they leave you and they go to another company, how it will be revenue to you? It will be just a cost, right?
But if we will provide them, a good working culture, they will be respected and they will feel safe. There will be very less turnover rate, I think. And also we have trained them very specifically. So if they, we have trained them according to our needs.
It doesn't matter, right? Whatever you're doing, like there are multiple competitors you have. Second follow-up question on that is, what is usual intern to full-time employee ratio?
I don't think I don't have a exact data, but I think.
Okay, let's take a guess. If there are like 100 employees in your department, how many interns you will take? Okay, second question. For example, let's say there is a mining operation job. Will you take interns for mining operation?
No.
Okay. That was it. Thank you.
Any other questions?
What do you mention for transparency?
For transparency, I have mentioned that the committee that employee committee that we form will also take part in that. Will also get informed about the decision making. I think that will solve the problem of transparency.
Okay.
All right, moving on to the next team.
Team VIT.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. Go ahead.
I'm so sorry for that. There may be network issues. First of all, thank you so much for the opportunity. As the CHRO, my job is to promote inclusivity across all fields, and provide transparency in terms of whatever decision making happens in the top management towards the employees and stuff like that. I'll start one by one. First of all, there have been problems of trade unions, right? So my first job as the CHRO would be to make sure these issues of like demands of trade unions get reduced as down as possible, because this is the worst thing that could happen to any company, formation of trade union, as we have seen historically in past how these unions have destroyed companies. For example, the Maruti Suzuki showroom, or we have examples of lot of companies in Calcutta where they had to shut down. So my first job will be to make sure I personally sit down with all the members of whatever is happening, and personally ensure the last mile delivery of what they actually want, right? Because what happens is everything sometimes there is a lost in transition of what they actually want, because there are multi-step process of information that is passed on. So one thing I'll do is uh, direct association with the workers that demand trade association, so that these demands are not further exceeded. Next, I'd propose a revamp of the organizational structure, where, as you know, the Adani group basically believes in a traditional way of like doing things, where there is a hierarchy, where there is you have to respect the seniors and stuff like that. I propose not a total revamp of the structure, but also embrace modernity, where we have dilute down these things, so that the top management, so the top talent across the world does not feel a little bit alien to whatever is happening, and so that we can embrace new talent, right? This second, I would propose town halls across every Adani office, that is regularly in a monthly basis or something, because a lot of decisions takes place. However, these decisions are not very well communicated with the employees. So our basic job will be to enhance communication, and town halls is, I think, one of the best opportunities where the senior management gets to communicate with the developers, coders, and like employees around that. Also, will include gender inclusivity in our hiring programs, so that and also inculcate newer technologies, AI technologies, so that we could the scope of our recruitments increases. For example, you could see companies like Goldman Sachs uses technologies for recruitments. They do not the large chunk of their interviews are done through AI, and these are done so that they could have a large pool of students from where they could select, right? So we could use these technologies so that we could increase the number of options that we have. Next, we come across is we could what we have to do is get the best talent across the India, right? For that, I propose a a competition sort of thing, a hackathon, or a something ideathon kind of thing, promotions that are done continuously across universities across India, so that students get to interact with the companies. These are also done by top level companies, for example Goldman Sachs or Microsoft, where they start these programs, so that a student representative program in their college or something, Also, we could have various hacks around the themes of our company. For example, Adani Wilmar, Adani Green, and we have to. The problem with our companies, we do a lot of things that are futuristic, right? But the representation is not futuristic. We are seen as someone that is not so futuristic, get stuck in some old thought processes. We are the one company in India that is promoting green fuel, that is promoting green energy, that is promoting hydrogen energy. That is, we have revamped how Ahmedabad receives energy, right? We have revived, and we want to do that throughout India. So one of the best things would be how the management sends whatever they are doing. The workplace, the presentation of whatever we are doing should be better, and we would take steps so that the presentation of whatever we are doing and our company culture gets across people. Yes, we are doing this. Yes, our company is it has good employee connections. Also, we have you would see, I think it is already said by someone ki Adani never leaves its employees at a high. Adani never leaves its employees at a low whenever there's a recession or something. I repeat that point, and I say that Adani takes care of your employees whenever they are at low. And I propose two more things. For example, what is the most important thing that any employee will take care of? Like, most important problem they have. The number one would be the education of their children. Adani is already investing in education. What we propose is building more schools and a discounted price for the children of employees already in the Adani group. So what will happen is, the number one problem of parents to for providing education for their of the employees will increase, and also we'll have a long term benefit. The second I propose is, Adani also has townships, the Adani townships. What I propose is giving the Adani giving discounted rates for employees at Adani townships. This will do two things: a, increase inclusivity among the employees of Adani, so that they can interact with each other, and b, make a long term connection with the employees. The one basic thing of Adani is, Adani never hires at mass, right? We are not a company that will do 10,000 hirings and then fire 12,000 employees. We have 1,000 employees. We'll keep that 1,000 employees for long, right? We'll keep that 1,000 employees for long, and we'll make sure that these 1,000 employees are taken care of. Next, we'll hire the top talents across India, across the world. For that, we'll do talent management programs, we'll do talent reach out programs. Basically, I've said all my points. Thank you so much, and open for questions.
Okay, I understood few part of your. First, tell me, like, what's your major? What's your branch?
Sir, I'm from electronics and communication. ECEL. Like.
Okay. Have you ever seen any Adani township, Adani location,
Yes.
Adani mine, Adani power, Wilmar group? Anything? Have you ever seen?
Sir, it's Adani township I've seen in Ahmedabad, sir, and my friends are also from there.
Okay. Okay. So Adani does give housing to their employees, right?
Yes, sir.
Correct. So that was one of the things that you were trying to say about include. Tell me, like, what kind of harassment and discrimination employee face in, let's say, operations?
For example, a non-cis identity could face harassments regarding workplace. For example, it could be regarding gender, or it could be regarding caste or creed, or it could be a general racist environment that a harassment could face. Also, it could come from natural bullying, something around that. So I think because of the time issue I missed, I think I would also propose a centralized grievance system where the grievances do not go from this authority to that authority. However, these could be either anonymous or not anonymous. So according to the choice, and because of the central nature of the grievance system, they will not be lost in translation, and these could be addressed quickly. And therefore, we'll also have ownership, because when you have a lot of when you have a lot of people that you have to tell your grievances, there is a loss of ownership, because then you can pass the owners of the game. Ki, I had already said to that, and the process is already been passed to that. So what we do is a centralized authority, so that we can increase the ownership and also have a better grievance redressal system.
Do you think those things are not there at Adani right now?
Sir, I guess of course there are there, but what I mean is by increasing the last mile
What's
delivery,
your
sir.
solution?
For example, sir, increasing the last mile delivery. For example, tell people about whatever we have, better management, better communication. Therefore, I had proposed town hall, sir, so
You
that
don't think Adani
employees
do time
know
hall?
what they have. Sir, we do, but I'm just proposing the increasing in the number of frequencies. Like if there is one town hall per se 1 year, I propose 3 to 4 town halls or 5 town halls per year, so that employees get to interact better with their upper management.
Okay, so what's the cost of one town hall?
For example, sir, as per say organizingly, we could have the town halls in our own offices, right? And if possible, we could do Fridays. Like if you just ask me the cost of organizing a town hall operationally, I don't think it would be like that much per se. There is no operational cost for conducting a town hall, because I think all equipment, basic mics and things we already
Okay.
have in our offices.
No, you are going wrong. Let me tell you the maths about it, right? Let's say I am working for Adani. My per hour, Adani pays me around 20 rupees, right? And apart from that, there is like operation cost, which I eat, which I talk, which I have phone, which I have gadget, which I have clothes. So additional like 20% of it, which is 22 rupees a employee for an hour. Let's say you do a town hall once in a year, right? Adani has, let's say, 10,000 employees. You know what's the cost of that town hall now?
Yeah,
With
I get your
different
point.
layers of it, right? So operationally, that's why people don't do that much town hall, right? The meetings waste time, right? Let's say, for example, I earn around $500 an hour, right? And if I invest like 3 hours here, right, this is 1,500 straight dollars, right? Which I'm not getting, right? So it's a loss to me, right? So that's how you calculate the cost of any operation in the HR also. Okay.
I get your point, sir. Like I totally agree, but I think it's a worth investment for human resources, because we have seen companies that invest in human capital, companies that invest in human resources do tend to do better in long term. And maybe operationally we could reduce the cost, or maybe these town halls could be met with a function or something around that, so that people like also enjoy town halls as such. Also, we could, the point is not to do 10,000 people all at once, right? We could have different like town halls for like, we could have different town halls for like every different at different levels, not necessarily be 10,000 people all at once. I get your point, like where you are coming from. The point I'm trying to say is ki we could invest in the human capital, and that could foster this result, sir.
Okay. Okay.
All right, moving on to the next team, Aryabhatta.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I am Piyush Yadav as being the CHRO of Adani Group. For this following discussion, I stand before you to address the challenges we face in our HR practices and to present some strategic plans and solutions that focus on developing transparent and inclusive HR policies and procedures. We have recognized the concern raised regarding the absence of labor union within our company. We can understand the importance of labor union to represent 23,000 plus employees for the growth of our company. And it is essential to understand the landscape we are operating in. According to recent studies by the Indian Labour Organization, only 9% of the India's organized workforce belong to union. This data indicates that our situation is not unique, but it does not absolve us from our responsibility to ensure employee representation and welfare. Therefore, it is our commitment to create an independent, democratic, and inclusive labor union to make open channel for dialogue between the board members and employees. This will also help to increase employee productivity and establish independent mechanism for feedback. By these policies, we will work toward building a supportive work environment where the voice of our employees are heard and their rights are protected. Furthermore, recently allegation of discrimination and harassment from a former employee has highlighted the need for immediate action. We take these allegations seriously and Adani's assure you too that we will conduct proper, fair, and unbiased investigation to take appropriate action against this. Moreover, we have implemented mandatory diversity and inclusion training programs which have received positive feedback from 95% of participants. These initiatives are a testament to our determination to provide a respectful and inclusive work environment for all employees. Additionally, we have various policies to ensure transparency and accountability within our companies, like POSH, prevention of sexual harassment, organizational health and safety policy, ESG, sustainability policies, and so on. Now, let's move into the challenges of the shortage of workers. According to the report, According to the report by the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, FICCI, the demand for skilled workers in India is expected to outstrip supply by 20% by 2025. This data highlights the urgency of our situation. But now, for attract, attract and retain talent, we are collaborating with NSTC, National Skill Development Corporation, to train over 3 lakh youth in India and 40,000 every year from this program. We have opened Adani University to make people skilled where more than 3,300 students are learning and developing skills. Additionally, we also have itself ASTC, Adani Skill Development Center, to develop skills of employee in Adani groups of companies. High attrition rate, particularly among young and experienced employee, indicates the underlying issues such as long working hours. And but due to pandemic, attrition rate is increased in whole India, not only in Adani groups, is for 21.4% in 2022 to 2023 from 6% in 2020. We are addressing these concerns very seriously by implementing flexible work arrangement, promoting work-life balance initiatives, and establishing mentorship and development programs. Now, let's discuss the potential impact of these initiatives on our organizational success. By fostering transparent and inclusive HR policies and procedures, we will witness improved employee engagement and retention. Our employee will feel a sense of trust, fairness, and respect, leading to higher satisfaction and loyalty. This, in turn, will reduce the attrition rate and ensure the retention of skilled talent. Thank you.
What's your plan to stop the attrition rate or decrease the attrition rate, to say so?
Like, for addressing this concern, we can implement the flexible work arrangement, and we will give a flexible
What is
arrangement
flexible
and
work arrangement?
work life balance and mentorship, and we will host camp township.
What do you mean by flexible work arrangement?
like they can work from home, and work from home, or means they can work from home, and what time they want to do.
Can an electrical engineer work from home?
No, that will vary from
But that
labor
will
to
stop
labor.
the attrition rate.
Yeah, that will give liberty to the labor for work, and then that will help to reduce the attrition rate, I think. Because it will also, because attrition rate happen because of the employees doesn't feel tired by working, and doesn't feel they are they are getting growth and learning something. But by this, when they will see some mentorship and development programs and work-life balance, they will feel that they are learning something and they are developing itself. So
How
that
you will
will
give
reduce
work-life
attrition rate.
balance? How you will give work-life balance?
For work-life balance, yeah, we can assure that as like at some time of at some conditions we can employee have to work more than some assigned time like 8 to 10 hours, yeah, or 12 hours in a day. So we can work life balance, we can assign a particular time in this means uh, a period of time they have to work at the period at some period of time. After that they they have to work at the some period of time that will be assigned to them.
Don't you think it is already assigned like a engineer has to work 8 hour or like 9 to 5 is the office hour? No?
No.
Or they have to work in shift. So it is already assigned. So what as a CHRO you are doing?
No, yes, but it is assigned. But at some conditions, there are some laborers and some industries where the workers are doing extra works and work overtimes. That's
They get bonus for that. That is not mandatory. That is conditional. If they do overtime, they get like paid extra for that. It's their choice, their personal choice.
yes, their personal choice. But at some condition, at some situations, when as example as if if company are struggling from any situation, then the worker have to do extra time without any types of overtime employment.
Okay.
All right, now we can have a discussion to come to a common consensus. You can cross question each other right now. Thank you.
Hi, someone said about formation of labor unions and like promote the formation of labor unions. I don't think this would be a sustainable strategy for the company. Like uh,
I said formation of employee committees that are slightly different from labor union. Slightly different from labor union.
Yes, I had a doubt in formation of employee committee. You mentioned that instead of labor unions, we'll have employee committee. So I suppose that will include the employees of the company. Then how will you maintain inclusivity in the employee committee? On what basis will you take in employees in that committee? Because they'll eventually be in a certain ways elevated above other employees.
and
They'll have certain more
how
extra
is that
power.
different from a labor union? Like what differentiates it from a labor union?
Uh, Slightly different from labor union because the representatives won't be selected on basis of I think elections. As per my knowledge, people are selected on in the representatives selected on the basis of votes. But here in employee committees, people can be selected on the basis of interviews and other aspects. The representatives.
But like the whole purpose of giving a a person authority that can challenge you is something that both the labor union and the committee does, right? So the purpose of like inclusivity, the purpose of making sure the finances of the company are also well maintained is like the purpose is lost because when you give someone an authority that can challenge you, especially for example times when companies have to take tough decisions, that time, be it the labor union or be it the committee proposed by you, these organizations will give you challenges sometimes when the company has to take tough decisions. So for the company as such, I do not think this is a right step that we should move forward with, especially formation of companies or giving people extraordinary powers, which later come back to bite us.
But we have to ensure the workplace conditions are right, and the workers have their rights secured. We have to make some body that ensures that.
So that is why the upper management has to do that. If this is the job of us and the HR department to do that, why give employees the right to matlab, not saying it in a wrong way,
I
but
think
like
if HR will take decision because in HR mind, I think the company is more prior than the company's profit and revenues are more prior than
but
the
shouldn't it
work.
be so? Since like shouldn't it be so? We are the C-suits of our company. Like our company should be our utmost
If
priority.
but if employees are not happy and they're not being productive and they're not giving the 100%, and that will also hamper the productivity of the company.
I get your point, but like there are thousand ways to make sure productivity is increased. Now we have technology. There are companies like Bain which make sure end-to-end connectivity. For example, if there is an earthquake in your house, the company will call you personally and ask you, is everything safe or not? So they do not need labor unions to like with the advancement of technology and stuff like that. You do not need unions to do that. With technology, you can do that yourself.
The committee that formed only responsible for ensuring the work the in work environment and the protection of rights. They don't have a right. They don't have powers over any other aspects of the company. So I don't think why you have a problem with the employee
But
committee.
like, do you have any mechanism to stop that? Like, do you have any mechanism? Because once you give someone power, inherently you make sure ki there is no stopping point, right? Do you have a mechanism to like? There's a full stop
Uh,
where you
I'm not giving any special powers to them. I'm just channelizing a way in which improperly employees can raise their concerns to the higher management.
No,
so
but
why not
the whole
directly to
point,
the
the whole
why not
point of an
directly?
employee
So sorry.
committee is that at one point some grievance does come and they have to take a decision, right? So whatever decision they're taking, that gives them
Uh,
power.
uh,
And if
it
you're
will be
picking up
it will be
from, let's say,
it will be
how, yeah,
yeah,
continue.
please complete.
No, it's just that my problem, my initial question was just that if you're forming an employee committee, how will you take in people? Will you take them based on their experience? Will you take interns? Will you take them based on how well they're working, their performance? So that kind of those issues can arise, and you won't be able to maintain inclusivity. So if those decisions are left separate, if HR department is separate from the working department, from the employees, then that will eventually create a different system of checks and balances, and that will be better. How in the country legislative is different from executive, something like that.
The employee committee that was formed will collaboratively take decisions with the HRs. They will not independently take any decisions. They will include the HRs and they will collaboratively take any decisions for the welfare of the
Then what
people.
is the point of creating the committee if it does not take decisions? If it is not the actual representation of your employees, as Aditya said, you will not be able to provide inclusivity, which is very right when he says that. Because uh, do you have interns? No. Do you have equal representation of like all genders and all minorities and stuff like that? No. Do they have powers to make decisions? No. Then like why do you spend extra on like creating committees instead? Why not use technologies to make sure the last mile delivery of communication is there? Don't you think that's better? Like we
Uh,
as a company that is futuristic should invest in futuristic technologies, provide better resource management softwares and implement them.
so how do you think that you can provide a better way for ensuring the that all the rights are secured and the people are working in a safer environment?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I proposed using a centralized system of grievance addresses so that there is someone, the employee knows where to go to whenever they are in need of something, right? Also, an issuance of, I think someone said it very rightly, a whistleblower act where for like punishing a concern, the accuser is not punished. You provide safety to the rights of someone that is raising a point. Also, you make sure that these are addressed properly and there is effective change. When you increase the efficiency, there will be no longer workers' demands for finding someone others help in themselves. They will know a central authority where they have to go through, right? I propose that. I propose a technology, and it's basic, right? And it's not like it's just there. Every grievances is passed to a central authority, and these authorities make sure that these are addressed properly. There are consequences for the wrongdoings, and these actions are taken strictly.
You are saying that whenever an employee has some problems, they have a guy where they need to go. You're not telling me
Not necessarily
where
a
they
guy.
have to
It
go.
could be of any gender, like not necessarily a guy.
That's not what I'm trying to say. You're not refraining from the question. I'm saying who is that? What's the position of that?
It could be anything. You could have a person in each office, or you could create a separate department in the whole of organization which manages different departments of different companies. There could be a fine structuring which can be done later, but I say on a comparative analysis my model is better than yours because it actually has consequences. B, we actually have control of what we can do, and C, the cost is very less, like in managing these things. So it's cost effective everything, like on a comparative analysis.
I think the whole point is that at the end of the day, the grievances should pass and they should be solved, right? So, considering an employee committee in which certain employees are considered above than others, whatever, even let's say, even if they are inclusive and all, even if that happens, even after that, there will be some dissent, there will be some problems eventually arising because same salary, same powers, everything, but then you get into this committee and eventually you raise a concern, you raise your personal grievance, and someone else who might not be in conjunction with you, they'll probably say that, okay, I won't go ahead with your request, right? So you're giving extra power to someone else, right? And as Jay mentioned, we can have a centralized database system, which I also mentioned. We can use AI ML models, which are probably helping us out in certain issues. That is all right. So that is in general the conclusion of this. One question I have for Jay. You mentioned that you want to include modernity in the company. So what exactly do you mean by that? And don't you think that there will be certain problems to this? Because Adani is a very old company. It
I
has
get
certain
your point.
hierarchy, as you mentioned, certain aspects which are very fixed. And when change is brought in, even if you're a CHRO, you're 10,
And
15
one more
years.
question from my side is that how
Yeah,
do
I'll
you
just
think
complete.
that?
I'll just complete.
Okay.
Even you're in HR, you're in CHRO, and then you immediately bring these measures. So the top management will definitely be affected, and even the employees will be affected. Not talking about basic measures like AI technology and all, we've all embraced that. But core changes, legal changes. How do you manage to do that?
Yeah, I get your point, right? So I think it's a very good question, but because a fine line has to be maintained with embracing modernity and maintaining traditions of our company, right? If we do not embrace modernity, there would be problems where we have problems of not embracing newer talents. However, if we lose our traditions, then it would be a company with no culture, right? So we have to maintain a fine line between that. And how do we do that? We make sure we introspect very properly and find out the problems in our traditions and change it, right? And most important thing is change should not be brought top to bottom. Instead, the change should be brought from bottom to top. So how do you do that? You engage conversations. What I propose was town halls, propose discussions. So when you do that, there is already discussions of change inside your inside the bottom. And when you discuss that and then you implement change from bottom to top, so you listen to grievances of people and then you address them. It's not like you bring something from the top and then you enforce them to people. So I think that approach would be better.
When you mention
One last question from my side will be: you guys said that we will use AI. I just want to know how you guys are planning to use AI in solving any of the mentioned problems.
Shreyans, if you can, you just conclude it rather than asking the question. Just conclude it. And take a minute and conclude it.
Okay, sir. I would conclude saying that people already said that we can. Sir, let me just quickly remind what people said.
Should I
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
So I guess sir, there are two models of like going forward with it. Once is the Shreyansh one, and once is mine and Aditya's. I guess we both agree on that. I'm not sure about what Piyush agrees, but the two are key. We would have a promotion of labor unions or like committees or sort of that, and we propose is a central system where grievances are addressed properly. Except for that, I think all of us agreed on major changes that need to be brought. For example, inclusivity and like whistleblower act. Something I think all three of us said about that. Also, I think something like proper execution of these grievances. I think major part everyone agreed on that. There are some huge slight modern changes that were proposed by someone here and there, but like major everyone agreed on it. So I guess finally we come to a conclusion.
In general, I believe every company thinks about all of this, and at the end, what matters is how well they're implementing it, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Can someone tell me like what is the meaning of inclusivity or inclusion in HR terms?
Sir, I think it means ki every minority and every voice is like included. For example, there are 10 people out of which 3 vote for red, 5 vote for blue, and like and one votes for yellow and one votes for pink. So the voice of whether pink, blue, yellow, and red all are represented, and like if it's not just
It's okay. In HR terms, it means male and female, right? Whether both are included or not, and that is also known as diversity. Also, in India, we don't have diversity too much, but we combine everything and call it inclusion, right?
So doesn't
Diversity in general is against the races and against the nationality. You have multiple people across everywhere. Okay, you all gave a good solution, good understanding. I believe, yeah, most of you are doing engineering, right? So your solutions are more engineering centric. HR world works very differently than the engineering world. So, but good job, guys. Thank you so much for all the wonderful ideas that you gave.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Very
sir.
good, guys. Thank you.
I think it was one of those civil discussions we had. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so moving forward, judges will be shifting to another meet to discuss and decide the results. Till then, you guys can interact.
So, anyone wish to say something about their experience or something? What would you like to say?
I would request the judges to move to another meet to discuss the results while we stay in this meet. Thank you. Please do not leave.
Participants are required to stay here only. The winners will be announced
quick
very soon.
15-minute break, and then we declare the results.
Yeah.
Guys,
If you
this
wish to
will be a
stay,
short break.
say something or anything.
Yeah, and this will be a short break. The judges will be returning soon. So everybody is requested to please stay connected.
Hi, I just had one question.
Yeah, sure. Go on.
The Aryabhatta team, like, is it the same ESL which is conducted?
by the way, guys, and great insights. You guys were very much clear about your role and the problem, right, which was presented to you. But just like Samisa said, you being on a top position, you have to think on a very vast level and a little bit out of the box, of course, because you have to add on your own taste. Personal taste should be there, right? So for me, the finance team, you were so much about the numbers and deep reports and everything. But what I personally think about is ki, when you guys are talking about Sensex, right? So Sensex full form is very simple. It is sensitive index, right? So if one very small event is happening or incident happening, the market will be will be go ups and down, right? So just like that, for the solution also, you don't need to do so many stuff. It is very sensitive index. You do small change, just a small change, and leave it to your marketing team, and they will present it in a very great way. So in a small change also, you can expect a great result. It is possible. So sometimes you have to think on that way also. It is Sensex. So very small things can be done in a very presentable way. Some were talking about loans, some were talking about some other things, which is not, I don't think so. You have to be very choosy, and you have to do some stuff which is not which should not be do in an open market at that level. So yeah, I don't want to get into the very core into the topic, but overall presentation was very good. The insights were very good. The HR team also contributed very well. I really like your inputs and insights about it. And what I personally feel about HR is, you being an HR head, you should be very much concerned about the culture, and secondly, how you can solve it with the help of technology. If you are very much concerned about this two topic, you can sort it out in whatever condition it is presented to you. And the compliance should be very much involved into the legalities, what terms you should have to check you should have double check about it and all. Otherwise, all the participants were really liked, and even we were very much confused about 2-3 participants, because we have marked them in a very close manner. So yeah, the result is also very much interesting. But I will give that honor to Samir sir to present to you, and carry forward to you, sir.
Thank you, guys. Anything else before we?
Yes, sir. For CHR, you specifically mentioned that we expected something different, and we were all from engineering colleges. So, what exactly were you expecting?
Correct. So I'll give you a very brief about human resource, right? The people who go into human resource department, they especially come from a very different background than engineers, right? And as an engineer, you are very much into your own branch, right? But when you go into the industry, it's not just electronics engineering or mechanical engineering. It bifurcates into so many integral parts where you will have contractors, you will have people who will be just doing the janitorial services, or people who will be doing the floor services, right? Who are not from engineering, BSc, BA, those background, right? So HR has to have element of humanity in them, right? And as an engineer, we are never trained to be a human, right? We are always trained to be an innovator or an engineer who goes and fixes the stuff or makes something, right? That is the element which HR has. So what I was expecting from you guys was having something like, if you guys would have talked about the 21st century problems, right? Which is maybe the mental health, or you might have talked about pay parity, right? Or you might have talked about how the salary, like every year the salary has to change, right? Because then you can take the inflection point or the inflation points, right? Right now it is 3 to 5%. Can it be 10 to 20%? Can Adani do that with the revenue they have, right? And you had that data like 2 page above the where the HR thing was there, right? So I wanted to know those kinds of things, and that would have made you a better HR or CHR or a solution, rather than just saying we do the town hall or we do the uh, office management kind of a thing where we are doing the committee is there, because those things are already there, right? But there is something which is not working, right? And you have to think that from the human angle, then only you'll be able to understand what HR is all about. Did I answer your question,
All right,
Aditya?
sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you.
Great. Yeah, Megha. Or there are two, like, do you have any questions or yeah, by mistake? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Megha, you're not audible.
Okay, Janshu, you go. Jashnu, sorry.
Sir, so no problem, sir. Sir, I wanted to ask, sir, since you are into like technology, like you are a CTO and especially in AI company, sir, how do you feel about, as we talked about these AI in human resources and stuff like that, how realistic and how long will it take to like, have these developments?
Right. So I'll tell you like how do I know about human HR department, right? I have a product in market which especially deals with HR and human psychology, right? Which is employee psychology. So my research in last 3 years has been on the psychology side, right? Which is by the way you are sitting, by the way you are talking, I can tell you like about your personality, right? And I have a patents on the various algorithm which detects the personality, right? So I can talk about human element into any equation, right? So from now your question is how much time AI will take to be in the human resource. Right now, whatever AI we see is not AI, right? It's just a tip of the iceberg, right? There is lot many things which are happening in the market. So for example, let's say I'll give you a very basic example. You all might have heard about Chat GPT, right? Chat GPT just came into the picture in this year, like early this year. But Chat GPT has been in market since 2020, right? We never knew about it. Why? Because marketed well. Why it wasn't marketed well? Because we didn't had a marketing engine back then, right? Why we didn't have it? Because there was no sales need for it. So there are a lot of intricacies which are there, which has to fulfill so that a product comes. For example, AI in human resource management, it might come when somebody will make a chain where they are hiring people with AI, managing people with AI. Then there will be someone who will think, okay, I have to make compliance about human with AI. So it's just like if you have all the component, then only you can make a bicycle, right? We don't have all the components right now in the world where we can make all these changes in the different departments which we have, which doesn't have AI as of now.
For understanding, it is not there, but apart from other activities for HR relative, it is already there, right, sir?
Correct.
Anyone else for any questions?
Yes, sir. So specifically for the finance section, you said that we were a lot focused on the numbers and not so focused on the solution. We were specifically told in the PDF sent to us that we have to focus on the numbers and estimate the data that would happen when we imply our strategies. That is why our speeches or whatever we presented revolved around different numbers. No other than that. What were you looking for in the answers?
Correct. Numbers are not bad, right? I'm a data guy, right? So I love numbers, right? But the problem with numbers is, So the problem with numbers is, with number you have to have an ideology behind it, right? You cannot say that inflation is 6.7%, so my company is doing good. It doesn't matter. Like inflation is 6.17. What are you going to do about it? Then your company will do good. What are you going to do about it? That was missing, right? And sometimes it comes with experience, right? I won't say that you have to know if you are in second or third year of your engineering or your economics degree. I won't expect you to know all those things, right? But still I would have loved to see some ideas floating around that area, right? It might have been wrong. Like I'll just point out Jashnu because he gave like a lot of things on HR. I loved his confidence, right? But his ideas, were the ideas good? Most probably not, right? But he had something like he'll do something around those areas, right? If you'll hit at, like, let's say you're doing a archery, right? You don't have to hit every time bullseye. You won't hit it in the first time, right? It's called beginner's luck. But if you'll hit around that area, someday you might reach there, right? From finance, that area was missing. So that was my only point.
Okay. So anything that you would have specifically liked in the argument?
Correct. So there was,
Specifically liked.
yeah. Of course, I would have said like SEBI investigation takes 36 months to do, right? So you cannot do anything about it. CBI investigation on average takes around 2.5 to 3 years, right? You cannot do anything about it. I would have looked at your revenue, right? There was somebody who said this. There was like a very faint point, like if you increase your, let's say, revenue, right, it automatically increases your shareholder value, right? Because you are earning more money. You said that, yeah. That's why, like I said, like it was very faint idea, but you guys started fighting with each other, right? And then the idea got missed out. So that was the thing, right? If you focus on getting more, business is very simple, right? Business is not run by valuation; it runs by value creation, right? Which is, if you are like, if I give you 10 rupees, if you give me a service of 10 rupees, I'll be very happy. And in that 10 rupees, if you made 8 rupees by investing 2 rupees, you are in profit, right? That's what the business is, right? What Adani is doing. It's the same thing which a general store manager in your general stores in your locality does, right? It just, he has a bigger scale, right? He has a bigger risk to fail. But risk is where it's a probability, right? Valuation. It doesn't mean anything in the real world until unless you reach there, right? So investor has to know whether you are getting the profit out of the mix or not. That's how you'll make the dividends, right? So if you would have thought about those lines, and if you guys wouldn't have fought on it like all the wrong things, you might have given a good answer to those questions.
That is somewhere we did lack upon. I kind of wanted to discuss it, that yes, it does not benefit the company anyway if we find out who's right and who's wrong, but still it got hazy in the middle. I agree.
No, it happens, but like I'll just, like, again, like since you agreed on that, I'll just say one line. When you are in a competition, right, you're not representing yourself, you're representing your college or university, right? Maintain that decorum, and that is for everyone, right? Whoever is there in this call, right? You're not representing Mega Vajpayee, you're representing your college itself, right? And that is the name that you're carrying. So you have to lose the, let's say, the ego in the middle, and make sure that you become a bigger person. I'm not saying like you're egoist or anything. I'm just saying, like, you have to lose that piece, right? You might be the greatest debater, right? If you'll go to Toastmaster, I'll think like probably you'll win, right? But the thing is, it's not a Toastmaster, right? You have to think like a C-level executive. And one of the key feature they have is patience, right? Which Meet will like say like same thing, right? They have to have a patience, because we hear a lot of bullshit every day, right? And we cannot
So we only
to it.
talk, we only accept pointers, sir. Only accept pointers. These lengthy paragraphs of numbers and all, it's to go from the up. But numbers, good point, talking point. What are the solutions? Straight solutions. That's it.
Thank you, sir.
Don't think we picked on you, right? I'm not picking on you.
Yes,
It's
of
just
course. It was in general. Yeah, sir. So go for the result, sir.
Oh, go for the result. Okay. You guys are waiting for it. Okay.
Just 1 second. We have our faculty coordinator here, Mr. Sanket Shekhar. So would you like to just say a few words to conclude the discussion?
Thank you, Astha. Once again, I would like to welcome Mr. Ranjan and Mr. Samir to this college. And I was listening to the YouTube podcast on and off, and it was very enriching to listen. In order to, Mr. Samir, I was also the part of Toastmaster. Yes. So I was I joined in 2016, and due to some reason, I left in 2019. So I was the part of Toastmasters Club of New Delhi. So it was totally what you were saying. I can resonate what you were saying. So it was very enriching to listen to all the students from the prestigious universities of India. And it was nice arguments, nice counters that they were giving. And I believe that participation is more important than winning any competition, because in any competition there is only one winner, but there are lots of participants. So participation is more important than winning any competition. So my best wishes to all the students, all friends who have joined from various corners of this great land, and my heartful thank to both the judges. I am looking forward to meet you soon in college. Our campus is very beautiful, so I am inviting you to the campus, and we will definitely have tea or coffee, whatever you like, soon in the campus. And thank you so much for coming, and I wish all the best to everyone.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So without further ado, let's move on to the results. Yash, if you would like to take over, please.
Yeah, sure. So, firstly, I would like to thank the participant and every part in this competition. It has been a very fruitful one. I'm sure everybody has learned something out of it. So, let's come on to the results. So, the judges would be announcing. I'll tell the position. And the best CFO goes to?
Best CFO goes to Megha Vajpayee from MNIT.
Congratulations, Megha. Clap, everybody, virtual.
Congratulations, artist.
Thank you so
Great.
much. Thank you so much for having me here.
So the best CHRO for today's event was?
Okay, it was Jayashnu from VIT.
Congratulations.
And the best CCO?
Best CCO goes to the host college, Aryabhatta, Rishit.
Congratulations, Rishit.
Thank you. Congratulations.
It was a nice event.
Congratulations to everybody. Lastly, I'll just like to thank our judges for taking out time from the busy schedule and all for participating in this event. We'd love to know your feedback and participate in your future events. You know, there's always room for improvement, and this is just only our 3rd edition. We're also having a 4th edition on Monday, which will be offline. So, you know, if there is any feedback, we'd love to know. And I'll just like to thank Sanket sir and Principal sir, our pillar of support, without whom this event cannot be possible. Thank you so much from the entire team of IIT Allahabad.
Thank you, everyone. Congratulations to all the winners.
Thank you so much for being patient.
Thank you so much.
I hope you guys had a good time
for having us
and
here.
learned something out of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Megha. Congratulations, Rishit.
All the team, guys. What a great performance, and looking forward to connected with you all on LinkedIn and other platforms. So that's it's for whenever I will be visiting your country or your city or your college, will be have a cup of coffee or tea. Yeah.
This goes for everybody. Whosoever is in Delhi, please contact IIT Allahabad. We'd love to host you guys.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
guys.
everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you guys.
Thank
it was
you.
a good experience. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.